subscribe, like the video, and, if possible, join Patreon. But if you don't have much money, you can support the channel by watching the novels on euroaudiobooks.com. Remember that you can participate in the polls so that your favorite novel gets published for free.
Smashing through countless buildings and walls along the way. 2 minutes later, Mr. Bai Ye, the master of the maze, the crazy magician, has escaped. Zilchak, who went to investigate, reported, "Run away if you want." Well, he probably won't show up in a short time. Bai Ye waved his hand nonchalantly. To be honest, there was no hatred between him and the crazy magician. What the future direction of the maze would be was not within his consideration. Now that the commission was completed, it was time to leave. Mr. Bai Ye, are you leaving so soon? When they learned that Bai Ye was about to leave, everyone in the Laos team was shocked. I wanted to let you taste my proud monster dishes, Sengsi said. Hee next time. Bai Ye smiled and waved his hand. The flame dragon was fine, but Bai Ye couldn't eat the other strange monsters in the maze. Senior Fulilian, can we really meet again? Malusilu looked at Fulilian eagerly, with a look of reluctance on her face. Fulilian was the most powerful elf magician she had ever met. Malusilu had completely become Fulilian's little fangirl. She still had many questions she wanted to discuss with her, but the separation came too suddenly, and Malusilu had a feeling. It might be difficult to see each other again after this separation. We will see each other again. I still have to conquer this interesting maze. Fulilian nodded calmly. In order to conquer the interesting new maze, she also needs to research the magic of traveling through the world as soon as possible. Really? Great. Malusilu was full of surprise. And Mr. Bai, thank you very much for your help this time. I will prepare a thank you gift and wait for your next visit. Malusilu said, bowing. Thank you, Mr. Bai. Miss Fulilian. Laos, Farron, Sensi, and Zirchak also bowed together. See you next time. Bai Ye waved his hand. A brilliant rainbow bridge of light descended from the sky, enveloping the two and disappearing in an instant. The world of fairy tale. Having completed another job, Bai Ye entered his rest time again. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. Bai Ye's peaceful life was broken because he found out that he was being followed. Post views 703 Fairy Tale, The Request of All Worlds. See you at the beginning, chapter 049, chapter 49. Detective Myra's Diary. Growing Burning Cuisine. As for flowers and comments, I am Mirajane Strauss. Fairy Tale's signature girl. A very popular model for the magazine Weekly Sorcerer. Don't think that I am just a receptionist now. I used to be the big sister of Fairy Tale. My name is Demon Mirajane, even though I have lost the ability to use magic for some reason. As a former Fairy Tale S-Class wizard, my ability is unquestionable. Recently, I have a new identity, Detective Mira, responsible for tracking and investigating a certain person. This is not a commission or job for anyone. It's just out of my own curiosity. A new brother who has joined the guild for only a few months, he is shrouded in a layer of mystery. Since returning from the first commission, I can't see through him. The recent frequent sky-high rainbow phenomenon in Magnolia, the special commissions that Bai Ye received, what secrets are hidden behind all this. I know that Erza must know something, but she won't say it. No problem. Detective Mira will find the answer herself. Snap. In a logistics office of the Fairy Tale Guild, Mirajane closed the diary, locked it in the drawer, and came to the hall. Bai Ye, thank you for your hard work. I have kept you busy so late again. Mirajane said, It's okay. This is my job. Bai Ye wiped the wine glass skillfully. By the way, Miss Mira, I plan to take a day off tomorrow to accompany the little guy. I haven't taken care of Sakura these days. Sure, of course. Mirajane agreed. I immediately decided to take a day off tomorrow. This is a great opportunity for investigation. The next day, early in the morning. Let's go. Sakura, let's have fun today. Bai Ye simidet. Great. Sakura jumped 3 feet high with joy, holding Medusa with her left hand and Bai Ye with her right hand. Sister Fulilian, we are going out. Please look after the house. I will bring you a gift when I come back. Sakura shouted towards the second floor. Well, go ahead and have fun. Filian's response came from inside the house. Compared to going out shopping with Bai Ye, Filian naturally prefers to sleep in. Just after Bai Ye and his family of 3 went out, a young girl wearing jeans and a baseball cap appeared from the corner and followed quietly. Bai Ye, what is Miss Mira doing? What? Forget it. No matter. From morning to evening, from a shopping street to the food street, Bai Ye took Sakura and Miura with him. Dusha almost visited the entire Magnolia. Finally, she returned home with a lot of loot. It was not good to eat dinner outside. After all, there was another mouth to feed at home. The main dish tonight was the special meat dish from the world of gourmet food, gem meat. When Bai Ye took out the gem meat from the system space, the whole kitchen was filled with dreamy light. At this moment, Mirajane, who was chewing dry bread outside the courtyard and observing, had her eyes lit up. Without waiting to take a closer look, the next second, the telescope was occupied by a black eye. Mirajane cried out softly, and her body instinctively staggered backwards. Just as she was about to fall to the ground, a big hand wrapped around her slender waist. Miss Mira, you've been following us for a day. If you don't mind, would you like to have dinner with us? Let's have a good chat. Bai Ye smiled. Hey, Bai Ye, how did you know? No, I'm not a stalker. The exposed detective Mira blushed and was at a loss. Sister Mira, let's have dinner together. At the door, Sakura waved at Mirajane. Sakura also knew, Mirajane said in astonishment. Miss Mira, your figure and appearance are so outstanding. It's hard not to be discovered. Bai Ye said, you're so talkative. Mirajane rolled her eyes charmingly. Thanks to Bai Ye's flattery, the awkward atmosphere was resolved. Then I'll bother you. Mirajane returned to her usual open and generous self. After a while, under Bai Ye's personal care, the main course of the night was served on the table. Bai Ye lifted the silver lid on the large plate. Instantly, an amazing light burst out like the rising sun. Oh, it's glowing. The food my father cooked actually glows. Sakura cheered in surprise. Is this the legendary glowing food? This phenomenon only occurs when the food is extremely delicious. I always thought it was a rumor, but I didn't expect it to be true. Mirajane murmured in shock. At the same time, her curiosity about Bai Ye grew even more. Bai Ye cut the whole piece of gem meat with a resurrection knife. The moment the knife touched the gem meat, the meat separated smoothly, and the rich gravy burst out like fireworks. I'm going to eat. Filian couldn't wait to put the meat in her mouth. The moment she put it in her mouth, her eyes opened wide uncontrollably. Her heart trembled suddenly, and every cell in her body glowed with joy. What kind of meat is this? Why is it so delicious? The always calm and composed Queen Medusa couldn't help but cry out at this moment. Sister Mira, hurry up, look, your body is glowing. Lowly Sakura said in surprise. Really? Sakura, you are glowing too. Mirajane's eyebrows curved, a look of satisfaction. Such delicious meat. So happy. Filian closed her eyes with happiness and savored it carefully. It's amazing. Just took a bite, and I felt the power pouring out continuously. Mirajane widened her beautiful eyes, and the shock in her heart reached a new level. At the same time, she could no longer control the runaway power in her body. With a hiss, Mirajane's clothes burst open. This seemed to be some kind of signal. The next moment, the hissing sound came one after another. Medusa, Sakura, and even Filian, who had eaten the gem meat, burst their clothes uncontrollably. For a moment, countless rags were flying in the restaurant. Almost all the girls had only 1 or 2 pieces of cloth hanging in key places, and the beautiful spring scenery was endless. The only one who could witness this beautiful scenery was Bai Ye. Although the posture of exploding clothes was very embarrassing, no one left the table. Because the deliciousness of gem meat is simply addictive. In front of this ultimate delicacy, shame is all gone. Post views, 747 Fairy Tale, The Request of All Worlds. See you at the beginning, Chapter 0, 50, Chapter 50. Demon Slayer World Group Commission. Take Mira through time. Seeking flowers and comments. Bai Ye's Dinner, Episode 1. Ended successfully. After dinner, Medusa, who changed into new clothes, began to clean up the dishes. Frillian took Sakura upstairs to take a hot bath. Bai Ye and Mirajane, who also changed into new clothes, went out for a walk. All the way, Mirajane just lowered her head, said nothing, and her fair face was covered with red clouds. Just now when she was eating, because the gem meat was so delicious, she had no time to pay attention to her own state. Until now, when she was eating dinner, thinking back to the scene just now, Mirajane felt a burning sensation on her face. It was also the first time for Mirajane to be naked and in the same room with a man. If Furlian and Medusa hadn't been there, they might have thinking of that possibility. Mirajane felt her cheeks getting hotter and hotter, as if they were about to burn. Miss Mira, let's not hide it. Can you tell me why you followed me? Not just today, but also 2 days ago. Bai Ye smiled and broke the subtle silence between the two. Ahem, it was exposed from the beginning. Mirajane scratched her head embarrassedly and took a deep breath. Bai Ye, we're the first to know each other in the guild. Well, I was able to join Fairy Tail thanks to Miss Mira. Bai Ye nodded. As Bai Yejuan's guide, I know nothing about Bai Yejuan now. I can feel the changes since Bai Yejuan started to accept commissions. Erza, who worked with you once, must know something, but I still know nothing. At this point, Mirajane couldn't help but sigh. So that's it. I didn't mean to hide it, but Bai Ye had a headache. Oh, as the first partner, I also want to know Bai Yejuan more deeply, at least not less than Erza. Mirajane clenched her fists and rubbed her eyes, launching a coquettish offensive. So, what does Miss Mira want me to do? Bai Ye shook his head helplessly. It's very simple. Take me with you on the next commission. Mirajane switched states in a second and looked at Bai Ye with expectation. Bai Ye was a little embarrassed. Oh, is it not possible? I really don't deserve to know Bai Ye-kun. Mirajane launched another coquettish offensive. Stop. I didn't say no, but I don't know what the next commission will be. It may be very dangerous. Miss Mira, your current state. Looking at Mirajane's expectant eyes, Bai Ye compromised. How about this? Let me assess the degree of danger of the next job. If it's not too dangerous, I'll take you, Miss Mira. Really? That's great. Mirajane was as happy as a child. So, Bai Ye-kun, when is the next job? That depends on fate. Before Bai Ye finished speaking. Ding dong, the mechanical reminder sound of the system sounded. You have multiple commissions waiting to be received. Speak of the devil, and the devil will appear. What a coincidence the job is here. Let's go to the guild together. Bai Yisimidet. Mirajane tilted her head in confusion. Bai Ye is here. How did he know there was a new job? What the hell? Forget it. Anyway, we'll know when we get to the guild. 10 o'clock in the evening. The atmosphere groups of the guild have also gone home. Bai Ye came to the commission board with ease and grabbed it at will. Under Mirajane's shocked gaze, a stack of commissions appeared out of thin air in Bai Ye's hands. Is this some kind of special link teleportation magic? Mirajane murmured in shock. Bai Ye did not speak, but looked carefully at the commission in his hand. Commission level, D, commission content. Wow, Mr. Bai Ye, where are you? I miss you so much. Commissioner Kanroji Mitsuri. Commission level, D, commission content. Lord God, where are you? I haven't beaten you up for saving my life yet. Client Kocho Kine. Request level, request content. My sister keeps talking about God all the time. If there is a God, please show up in front of me. I will do anything if you can show up. Client Kocho Shinobu. Request level, D. Request content. Are you God? Can you help Nezuko recover? And there is Muzin Kabutsuji. Client Tanjiro Kamadu. Commission level, D. Commission content. Dear God, I am Ubuyashiki Yoya, the current head of the Ubuyashiki clan. Client Ubuyashiki Yoya. Commission level, D. Commission content. God, please help the world to eliminate all evil spirits. Namo Amapa. Client Gyumi Biminju. Of the nearly 10 commissions, all of them came from the Demon Slayer world. And as expected by Bai Ye, everyone's commission glowed and merged at this moment. Finally, a new commission of C++ level was synthesized. The messages from the clients were very different, but the contents were similar. They were asking Bai Ye to kill the demon king Muzan Kibutsuji. How is it? Bai Ye-kun, can you take me with you? Mirajane asked nervously. Of course. Bai Ye nodded in agreement. Demon Slayer world is dangerous, but it is not a big problem. With Bai Ye's current strength, it is enough to easily carry the whole place. King of Demons Muzan? Just a little Karami. By the way, before I go, I have one thing to confirm. Miss Mira, are you afraid of ghosts? Bai Ye asked. Ghosts? Are you kidding? My sister. My previous title was Demon. Mirajane patted her chest with a solemn oath. It's good that you are not afraid. Then you can set off after signing the confidentiality agreement. Bai Ye said, no problem at all. Mirajane was very excited. Since she could no longer use magic, she had not been on a mission for a long time. Now she actually felt the excitement of accepting a commission mission for the first time. The confidentiality agreement was signed. Bai Ye used telepathic magic to tell Furlian where he was going, and then set off with Mirajane. Boom! The brilliant rainbow light bridge descended, carrying Bai Ye back to the demon world. Fairy tale, the request of all worlds. See you at the beginning, Chapter 051, Chapter 51. The Infinity Train Incident. Mirajane's shock. Seeking flowers and comments, Kuchi. Woo woo woo, the steam train roared, as if the Lord of the Earth was roaring. In the galloping train carriage, a man with long golden red hair like flames and an owl-like appearance, full of energy and spirit, sat upright. On the table in front of him, there were a mountain of square lunchboxes. Delicious, delicious, delicious. After eating a beef bento, the young man would say delicious with great momentum, attracting the attention of the passengers in the carriage. It didn't take long before the empty lunchboxes in front of him were piled high. Is that man really the flame pillar? He's just a foodie. The young man, Zenitsu Agatsuma, with short yellow hair and wearing a yellow haori, whispered. The boy wearing a black and green square coat and with a charcoal scar on his forehead nodded. Mr. Rengoku, excuse me, I'm Tanjiro Kamadu, and they're also from the Demon Slayer Corps, Zenitsu Agatsuma and Inosuke Hashibara. Tanjiro pointed to the yellow-haired boy next to him and the weird boy wearing a pig head mask. I remember you. You were the boy when I met the Lord. And the one behind you is the flame pillar. Rengoku Kaijiro nodded, as energetic as an owl. Yes, my sister Nezuko. Tanjiro nodded. Rengoku Kaijiro crossed his arms and nodded. Since the Lord has approved it, I won't say anything more now. Sit down here. Yes. Tanjiro sat down next to Rengoku Kaijiro. Azuma Zenitsu and Hashibara Inosuke sat down in the adjacent empty seats. The aggressive pig-headed boy was shouting that he wanted to fight with the Lord of the Earth. On the other side, Tanjiro began to ask the flame pillar Rengoku Kaijiro about the family-inherited fire god Kagura. Hearing this, Rengoku Kaijiro nodded. Then he said he didn't know in Tanjiro's expectant eyes. It seems that this topic can only end here. Rengoku Kaijiro looked straight ahead and changed the subject. But just become my stepson. I will train you well. Click. Just then, the door of the carriage opened. Please show me your ticket. The pale conductor spoke weakly. Click. The sound of the ticket being cut echoed in the carriage. The lights on the roof began to flicker and finally went out completely. At the same time, the people in the carriage fell asleep as if they were hypnotized. Even the powerful flame pillar Rengoku Kaijiro was no exception and was immersed in a beautiful dream. In addition to the sound of the train, the whole carriage fell into a dead silence, and you could hear a pin drop. When everyone fell asleep, the main course, evil ghost this time, the lower moon one nightmare, finally appeared. It was all because of the man on the roof, or more precisely, the male ghost. One of the 12 demon moons under the command of the demon king Muzan Kibutsuji. The lower moon one, sleeping demon nightmare. It's such a happy thing to be able to die in a sweet dream. Then, I'm about to enter the next stage. Sleeping demon nightmare's body gradually sank into the carriage and merged with the galloping train. At this moment, even Nightmare, who had merged with the train, didn't notice it. In the last carriage of the train, there were still 2 people who were still awake. The beautiful girl with long silver white hair, was now immersed in extreme shock. Just like Erza, who teamed up with Bai Ye, Mirajane was also stunned by the teleportation magic of the Rainbow Light Bridge. Bai Ye, what on earth are you? Bai Ye stretched out a finger and pressed it against Mirajane's red lips. Quiet, the demon is coming. The infinite train is full of dangers. Under the blood demon art of the lower string nightmare, everyone is deeply trapped in the dream and cannot extricate themselves. Seeing that the nightmare's plan was about to succeed, at the critical moment, Tanjiro woke up first. With the help of his sister Nezuko, he realized that what he saw in front of him was all illusion, not real. In order to get rid of the dream, Tanjiro chose a way that few people have the courage to do. He used the knife in his hand to kill himself without hesitation and return to reality. The moment he returned, he was ready to fight. After asking his sister Nezuko to wake up the others, he climbed onto the roof of the carriage alone and faced the lower moon one nightmare. You woke up so soon? It's rare for you to have such a wonderful dream. Why don't you continue? The sleeping ghost nightmare tilted his head and looked at Tanjiro. You guys don't break into other people's hearts without permission. I will never forgive you. Tanjiro roared angrily, and the black sun blade was unsheathed. Water breathing, pickup type, life, flow, transmigration. It was as if a blue river emerged, rushed, and roared as Tanjiro swung the knife. Blood demon art, forced coma, hypnosis. Nightmare faced Tanjiro with the big mouth on the back of his hand. Good night. Crack. The absolute sleep power of the blood demon art was released, causing Tanjiro to fall down suddenly. But in just a moment, Tanjiro regained consciousness and swung the sword again. Why didn't you fall asleep? Shock and confusion appeared on Nightmare's face, and he continued to try without giving up. But it was still only Tanjiro staggered slightly. No matter how he activated the blood demon art, he could not make the boy in front of him fall down. Until then, Nightmare finally knew the reason. It was not that his blood demon art failed, but that Tanjiro committed suicide in his dream at the moment of hypnosis. Again and again. Continuous suicide. Escape from the shackles of dreams. Don't joke. How can my family say such a thing? Don't insult my family. Tanjiro roared angrily, and the roaring river of water swept across Nightmare's neck. The demon head fell to the ground. But it's not over yet. A flesh-like object appeared on the iron train. Nightmare's head regenerated and merged with the entire train. You must be wondering why I didn't die, even though my head was chopped off. Because that wasn't my real body at all, and the one I have now isn't either. I have become one with this train. This train is me. The 200 passengers on the train are the blood food waiting to be digested in my stomach. Can you protect them all? The sleeping ghost, Nightmare, laughed triumphantly, and his entire body sank into the carriage, intending to carry out the subsequent plan. Rear carriage. Oh, what is this? So disgusting. Looking at the meat balls and tentacles growing everywhere in the carriage, Mirajane couldn't help but nervously hold Bai Ye's arm. Miss Mira, you are a demon. Don't worry about the little tricks of a mere little devil, Bai Ye said calmly. Hearing this, Mira couldn't help but roll her eyes charmingly. Are you really not going to take action? This situation seems a little bad. No problem. There are powerful ghost hunters in this car. Let's watch their performance first. Bai Ye. Post views, 751 Fairy Tale. The Request of All Worlds. See you at the beginning chapter 052, chapter 52. Flame Pillar Purgatory Kaijuro versus Upper Rank 3 Akaza. First Order Request. The night fog enveloped the world. The roaring train drove towards death with more than 200 lives. On the top of the train, the boy's hoarse scream finally received a response from his companions. Diwudo Mingvin. Diwudo Mingvin. Master Inisuk's appearance. The pig-headed boy held 2 swords and tore the roof of the train. Inisuk, the train has been completely assimilated by the lower demons. We must protect the sleeping passengers. Tanjiro Kamadu shouted firmly. I knew it was like this, exactly as I expected. I am such a competent boss. The pig-headed boy Inisuk boasted. Although he had woken up, he had not completely woken up from the boss dream. Of course, narcissism is narcissism, But the pig-headed boy's actions were not delayed at all. Breath of the beast, 5 fangs, crazy tearing. The sawtooth double swords danced like a ferocious meat grinder. Breath of water, type 1, water's surface, slash. Tanjiro also attacked, trying his best to protect the passengers in the carriage from the invasion of demons. At the same time, in the rear carriage, breath of thunder, type 1, 799, thunderbolt flash, 6 consecutive. Zenitsu Agatsuma, who was in a half-asleep and half-awake state, entered the strongest fighting posture. Under the activeness of the demon-slaying boys, the offensive of the sleeping demon nightmare was temporarily suppressed. Although he could not change the situation, he did buy time. Finally, burning the fire rose. The flame pillar awakened. I didn't expect that this would happen when I took a nap. I'm really useless as a pillar. Rengoku Kaijuro's fighting spirit turned into flames and rose up. I'm so ashamed. If there's a hole here, I really want to get in. The voice fell. Swish! His figure suddenly shot out, bringing with it a terrifying storm of flames, piercing through 5 carriages in a row. The powerful force even made the entire train jump. Even if it didn't hit the vital point, this attack still caused considerable damage to Nightmare. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Tanjiro and Inosuke climbed onto the roof of the carriage and ran all the way. Finally, the two found the neck of the train Nightmare. The neck of the train is the neck of the demon, where the front of the train and the carriage are connected. The final battle of attack and defense begins. It's useless even if you can find my weak spot. Sink into the eternal dream. The sleeping ghost Nightmare, who merged with the train, narrowed his eyes complacently. Blood demon art. Forced sleep. Eyes. The countless eyeballs on the tentacles blinked, sending Tanjiro into the cycle of sleep. Over and over again, reincarnation made Tanjiro almost unable to distinguish between reality and dreams. Fortunately, he had teammates by his side this time. The pig-headed boy Inosuke stopped Tanjiro from committing suicide. With the help of Inosuke, the dawn of victory appeared. The spinning and flying flaming sword fell, and the neck of the lower moon, one Nightmare, was cut off. The young demon hunters of the Demon Slayer Corps once again won the victory over the 12 demon moons. They also successfully protected more than 200 passengers on the train without any casualties. What amazing boys! From his point of view, we don't need to help at all. Mirajane couldn't help but murmured. No, not yet. Everything has just begun. Bai Ye smiled and shook his head. As soon as the voice fell, there was a loud bang. The speeding train seemed to hit a wall. The front of the train suddenly sank, and the 8 carriages leaped into the sky. In the endless dust raised by the train derailment and overturning, a pair of golden eyes lit up. 3 words were engraved in the pupils of the 2 eyes. Upper string. 3. The real crisis tonight is coming. Boom! Amidst the violent roar, the 8 carriages that leaped up fell to the ground and overturned. Fortunately, the passengers were only slightly injured and no one died. This was due to the fact that Rengoku Kaijuro and others used moves to stabilize the carriages. Of course, Bai Ye also helped a little. Really, what's going on? Why did the Lord of the Earth suddenly turn over? The pig-headed boy Inosuke brandished his 2 swords and shouted angrily. Everyone! Tanjiro's face suddenly showed extreme horror. It seemed that he saw something terrifying. Swish! Flame pillar Rengoku Kaijuro flashed in front of Tanjiro, facing the terrifying evil spirit that walked out of the smoke and dust. He had short pink hair and pale skin. His body was covered with dark blue tattoos, and his nails were blood red. The words in his golden eyes represent his identity. Upper string 3, Akaza. The battle happened in a flash. Coming in compliance with the order of the Demon King Muzan, Akaza crushed the ground with his feet and attacked Tanjiro. Flame-breathing Type 2, Rising Flame Sky. Flame Pillar Rengoku Kaijuro swung his sword. The sharp blade cut Akaza's fist and entire forearm in half. Akaza didn't care at all about this and swung it casually, and the wound healed instantly. What a good sword. Akaza spoke casually. I am one of 9 pillars. Flame Pillar Rengoku Kaijuro. As long as I'm alive, I will never let you get hurt, harm anyone. Flame Pillar Rengoku Kaijuro shouted, his face firm. Kyoyuro, I'm Akaza. Although this is the first time we meet, I like you very much. Now, do you want to become a ghost? Akaza invited Rengoku Kaijuro. No way. I hate you as soon as I see you. Rengoku Kaijuro shouted without hesitation. You won't feel that way when you become a ghost. We will definitely get along well. Because you and I are the same type, your fighting spirit has been tempered and is close to the highest realm. Akaza persuaded patiently. But do you know why you are just one step away? Because you are a human, because you will grow old, because you will die. So become an immortal ghost, Kaijuro. Death after aging is the beauty of a short-lived creature like humans. The so-called strength is not an adjective that can only be applied to the body. No matter how many reasons you give, I will never become a ghost. Rengoku Kaijuro refused firmly. Really? Akaza's golden eyes flashed blood. Boom! He crushed the ground with his feet and entered a combat posture. A bloody snowflake pattern appeared on the ground under his feet. The ritual begins. Destruction kill. Luajian. Swish. Akaza's figure suddenly disappeared from a spot. Rengoku Kaijuro was fearless and faced the attack head-on. The flaming sun blade and Akaza's steel fist engaged in a fierce clash. This was a battle beyond imagination, and the speed of both sides was beyond the reach of human eyes. The people outside the field could only see the constantly interlaced red and dark blue colors. Breathing of flame, 4-type Shengyan Wanxiang, 3-type Qian Wanxiang, 5-type Flame Tiger. Rengoku Kaijuro used his ultimate skills frequently, leaving deep scars on Akaza's body. However, in less than a breath, all the wounds on Akaza's body healed. All the efforts of Rengoku Kaijuro seemed to be in vain. Don't you understand yet? Kaijuro. Akaza broke through the blockade of the flame sword and punched Rengoku Kaijuro in the stomach. Crack. Broken ribs. Humans have their limits. Only ghosts can live forever. You are just courting death. In fact, you are almost dead. At this moment, above the overturned train. Not good. The boy who uses the flame sword can't beat the monster that can regenerate continuously. Mirajane's expression changed. As a former S-class wizard, Mirajane has no fighting ability now, but her eyesight is still there. 3.8, she could see that Akaza had not given his all from the beginning to the end. If he continued, Rengoku Kaijuro would be the only one to lose in the end. Don't worry. Wait a little longer. Wait a little longer. The potential of human beings is infinite. Bai Ye was still calm and composed. Become a ghost, Kaijuro, and keep fighting with me to improve each other. You are qualified. Akaza invited him again. I refuse. Flame Pillar Rengoku Kaijuro still did not hesitate. At this moment, in the battle with Akaza, his left eye was destroyed, his ribs were shattered, and his internal organs were damaged. The blood kept flowing. His body had reached its limit, and his life was on the verge of death. Even so, Kaijuro still did not give in. Burning. The blazing flames of the flame pillar enveloped his entire body. I will fulfill my duties as a pillar and will never let anyone die. Breathing of flame. Secret. 9 forms. Purgatory. Post views. 773 Fairy Tale. The request of all worlds. See you at the beginning. Chapter 053, Chapter 53. A life or death situation. Bai Ye takes action. A miracle from the gods. First order requested. Burning heart. Beyond the limit. A powerful fighting spirit, like a blazing flame, rushed up from the body of Rengoku Kaijuro, burning fiercely. What kind of fighting spirit is this? He is seriously injured but still has such courage. This posture is completely flawless. Ha ha ha. You really should become a ghost, Kaijuro. Fight with me forever. Akaza laughed excitedly and wildly. I am the flame pillar Rengoku Kaijuro. Rengoku Kaijuro roared the last time in his life. Boom! The ground beneath his feet exploded. A giant dragon of fire wrapped around his body, killing straight towards the upper evil spirits, unstoppable. Breathing of flame, secret 9-type purgatory. Come on. Kaijuro. Akaza was not afraid at all. Destruction kill. Extinction style. Boom. Akaza smashed the explosive dragon head with his bare hands. Boom. A terrifying explosion followed. In the blazing tornado of flames, the blood of the evil spirits kept splashing. The sun-wheel sword of flame pillar purgatory Kaijuro pierced and cut open Akaza's body. However, it still failed to cut off his neck. For the upper-ranked demons, no matter how serious the injuries to other parts are, they're just scratches and can be recovered in an instant. The winner of this battle is already decided. While the night wind blew away the smoke and dust, the center of the battlefield was shattered and charred. Rengoku Kaijuro's sword, raised high, froze in midair. Akaza's fist pierced his chest. Wow, it's not good. That strong boy is going to die. Why don't you take action? Mirajane looked anxiously at Bai Ye beside her. Wait a little longer. It will be done soon. Bai Ye comforted her softly, his tone still calm. Mirajane was silent and didn't say anything. If she could still transform into a demon form, she would step forward to help without hesitation. At this point, she could do nothing and could only rely on Bai Ye. However, she neglected that Bai Ye himself might not have the power to change the situation. In Mirajane's 24 cognition, Byakuya's exorcism magic targets spirits such as ghosts. But this time, the ghost is a monster with a body that can regenerate infinitely. It is really a bit difficult to ask Byakuya to fight such a monster. If it was Erza who came with her this time instead of her, it would be better. Mirajane's delicate face showed frustration, and she began to regret that she insisted on going on a mission with Byakuya. If it weren't for her willfulness, this strong boy might have survived. You will die. Kaijuro, tell me now you want to become a demon. You are the chosen one. Even at this time, Akaza still did not give up persuading, because in the hundreds of years since he became an evil demon, the flame pillar Rengoku Kaijuro was the best opponent he had ever met. He wanted to keep fighting with him to take his martial arts to the next level. In response to Akaza's passionate invitation, he used the blade of the Nichiren sword. The flame pillar Rengoku Kaijuro once again demonstrated his tenacious will as a pillar. Even if his body was pierced, even if his body and mind were already riddled with holes, he still used all his strength to chop the knife into Akaza's neck, pushing it inch by inch. At the same time, Rengoku Kaijuro used his body to clamp the evil demon's hand tightly, not giving it a chance to break free. I will never let go. I will definitely chop off your head. Rengoku Kaijuro gave his all. Dawn is near, even if we can't cut off the demon's neck. As long as we can wait until the sun rises, we can die with it. However, in the moment before the sun rises, Akaza broke free by cutting off his arms and escaped into the forest. Don't run away. Coward, don't run away. Tanjiro roared angrily and chased, and the flying blade pierced Akaza's body. The Demon Slayer Corps has been fighting in the dark night that is advantageous to you. We are human beings with flesh and blood. Wounds will not heal easily, and lost limbs will not recover. Don't run away, you bastard, coward. Compared to a guy like you, Mr. Rengoku is more amazing and stronger than you. Mr. Rengoku did not lose, and no one died. He fought to the end and successfully protected everyone. You lost. Mr. Rengoku won. Tanjiro's cries, filled with pain, anger, and unwillingness, continued to echo under the sky, shocking people. Don't shout anymore. Rengoku Kaijuro smiled with relief. Your injuries are not light either. If Kamadu dies, I will lose. Come here, I have something to say at the end. I remembered, let's go to my hometown, the Rengoku family, where there are notes left by successive flame pillars. That book may record the things you want to know about the god of fire Kagura. The sun rose, and the demon hand that was broken on Rengoku Kaijuro's chest gradually turned into ashes. Without the obstruction of the broken hand, blood began to flow out uncontrollably, staining the ground red. Mr. Rengoku, please stop talking. Can't you stop the bleeding with breathing? Tanjiro said anxiously. No, So while I can still talk, I'll say more. Please tell my brother Sanjuro to keep moving forward on the path he believes is right, and tell my father to take care of himself. And then, Kamadou boy, I believe your sister, and I recognize that she is a member of the Demon Slayer Corps. Not a member. I saw that girl bleeding to protect the unconscious human. No matter what anyone says, she is a member of the Demon Slayer Corps. Stand tall and live. Even if you are severely knocked to the ground by your own weakness and powerlessness, you must burn your heart, grit your teeth, and move forward bravely. In the end, you don't have to take my death to heart. As one of the 9 pillars, it is natural to stand up for the younger generation. No matter which pillar it is, they will make the same choice. Kamadou boy, pig-headed boy, and yellow-haired boy, you must continue to grow. In the near future, you will definitely become the new pillars supporting the Demon Slayer Corps. I believe in you. After the last words were spoken, Rengoku Kaijuro's vision became increasingly blurred. In a trance, he seemed to see his dead mother appear in front of him. Tell yourself that you did a good job. As long as you have these words, everything is worth it. Wow, you, who are you? Inosuke, who was crying, was shocked to see Bai Ye suddenly appear in front of Rengoku Kaijuro. The next second, something happened that shocked and horrified him. Bai Ye took out a kitchen knife with healing water. Under their noses, he stabbed it into the chest of Rengoku Kaijuro, who was on the verge of death. Wow, you bastard, Gula Gula Big Eyes sacrificed himself to save you. But what did you do? Seeing this scene, the pig-headed boy Inosuke completely exploded and lost his mind. The serrated double swords slashed towards Bai Ye mercilessly. No! Mirajane screamed in panic, trying to stop it. However, she couldn't catch up without magic. In a hurry, she was tripped by the rocks. Fortunately, the worst scene she imagined did not happen. Faced with the fierce attack of the furious and irrational Inosuke, Bai Ye just stretched out 2 fingers. The index finger and middle finger of his right hand were put together, clamping Inosuke's double swords like a vice, preventing it from moving forward at all. Asshole! Let go quickly, who are you? Inosuke screamed in frustration. Wait, Inosuke! Tanjiro suddenly yelled, his eyes wide as bells, as if he had seen the most incredible thing in the world. Mr. Purgatory's wounds, the wounds are healing. Huh? Hearing Tanjiro's yelling, Inosuke and Agatsuma Zenitsu, who was carrying Nezuko, were both stunned on the spot. Healing. It's really healing. Miracle. This is simply a miracle from God. Tanjiro could no longer suppress his excitement. This what the hell is going on? How can humans heal themselves? Getting closer, seeing the amazing regeneration of flesh and blood, Agatsuma Zenitsu screamed. Gulu Gula Big Eyes, could it be that he has turned into a ghost? The pig-headed boy Inosuke said. How is it possible? Don't say such things even if you are joking. This is an insult to Mr. Purgatory. Tanjiro reprimanded sternly. I'm sorry. Inosuke bowed his head and apologized honestly. You okay, Bai Ye? Mirajane limped to Bai Ye's side. What can I do? I just played with a child. But you, Bai Ye glanced at Mirajane and then picked her up without saying anything and put her on a big rock beside him. Then Bai Ye squatted in front of Mirajane and grabbed her sprained and swollen little foot with his powerful big hands. The king attribute of the death flame wrapped around Myra's fair jade feet, activating her cells quickly. In just a few breaths, Myra's foot sprain was completely healed. How on earth? Mirajane covered her mouth in surprise and was about to ask him how he did it. The next second, something that shocked Mirajane even more happened. She witnessed with her own eyes that Rengoku Kaijuro, who was pierced through the chest by a demon and could not survive, was actually alive. Woohoo, great! Mr. Rengoku survived. Inosuke, Agatsuma Zenitsu, and Tanjiro were excited and shouted and jumped. Kamadou boy, what am I? Rengoku Kaijuro opened his eyes blankly. The things in front of him gradually became clearer and clearer. One of his eyes was destroyed by a Kaza in the previous battle, but now, and there were countless wounds on his body, but at this moment he didn't feel any pain. Especially the wound on his chest, which was pierced by a fist, was completely regenerated. The only slightly strange thing was the kitchen knife, which looked familiar. Rengoku Kaijuro remembered. My mother and grandmother waved at him at last. Then a big hand holding a kitchen knife chopped back the grim Reaper holding a sickle and pulled him back. What was going on? How could he survive with such serious injuries? Could it be have I become a ghost? Rengoku Kaijuro muttered to himself, and the only possibility he could think of was this. Please don't say that about yourself, Mr. Rengoku. It's broad daylight now, and the sun is shining on you. Tanjiro said happily. That's true. Rengoku Kaijuro looked up and faced the sun. If I were Ghost, I would have been reduced to ashes by now. Gula Gula Big Eyes, let me tell you. That was over there just now that weird guy suddenly appeared and inserted this kitchen knife 540 into your body, and then you came back to life. Inosuke described vividly. Although it is hard to believe, it is true. That weird guy used a kitchen knife to bring a dying person back to life. It is simply a godlike method. Azuma Zenitsu also shouted in agreement. Wait a minute. Inosuke, Zenitsu, you are so rude. That gentleman is the lifesaver of Mr. Rengoku. Apologize quickly. Tanjiro quickly pressed down the heads of his two friends, knelt down to apologize and thank Bai Ye. In this regard, Bai Ye seemed unaware, just concentrating on playing Oh No, treating Myra's small jade feet. Bai Ye didn't care, but Mirajane couldn't stand it. If it was just the two of them in private, it would be fine, but in public, Bai Ye was watching others playing with her feet. Mirajane's fair face couldn't help but fly into pieces of red clouds, and her jade feet were sweating from nervousness. Okay, Bai Ye, the sprain on my foot is really healed. No need to hold it anymore. Mirajane quickly stopped him. That's good. Bai Ye's expression remained unchanged. He clapped his hands and stood up. Then, under the admiring gaze of the three little ones, he walked to Rengoku Kaijuro and took back the Su Shang kitchen knife. You are you God? Azuma Zenitsu spoke nervously, then put his hands together and began to pray devoutly. If you're really God, please let Nezuko recover. Samyama God, I am really sorry for the previous time. Please forgive my rudeness. Inosuke knelt down and kowtowed repeatedly. God. Rengoku Kaijuro stared at Bai Ye blankly. His mind recalled the events of several years ago. Hermitage Kane brought them a shocking news. God has come to the world and killed upper rank 2 Doma. But several years later, no matter what method they used to find it, the omnipotent God mentioned by Kane was never found. Some people even gradually regarded it as Kane's fantasy. Now has God really come back? Lord God, you must have saved Mr. Rengoku just now, Tanjiro asked with admiration and joy on his face. Yes, Bai Ye nodded. I'm not a god. My name is Bai Ye, the Wizard of Fairy Tale. I am here to fulfill your commission. Mr. Bai Ye? Commission? Tanjiro tilted his head in confusion. Bai Ye, you are Bai Ye. Rengoku Kaijuro stood up suddenly in excitement. Post views, 780 Fairy Tale. The Request of All Worlds. See you at the beginning, Chapter 054, Chapter 54. Goodbye to Kanroji Mitsuri and Butterfly Kane. Subscription request. Bai Ye. You are Bai Ye. Hearing Bai Ye's introduction, the flame pillar Rengoku Kaijuro couldn't help but widen his eyes. His owl-like face showed extreme shock and disbelief. He was definitely familiar with the name Bai Ye, because his former stepson, now one of the strongest pillars of the Demon Slayer Corps, had mentioned this name more than once. No, when the two met for the first time, she had asked him about the name Bai Ye. It can even be said that the reason she joined the Demon Slayer Corps was to find Bai Ye. In the following years, Rengoku Kaijuro has been helping to keep an eye out and inquire. But nothing was found. It seemed that Bai Ye had never appeared in this world. Until now, when he was on the verge of death. The man named Bai Ye descended like a god. Using miraculous means to take his life back from the scythe of the god of death. Such means are almost like those of a god. Will this Bai Ye be the man that Kanroji has been thinking about and always talking about? And is there any connection between Bai Ye and the god who saved the flower-style butterfly Kane a few years ago? Rengoku Kaijuro is a little uncertain, especially after seeing the intimate interaction between Bai Ye and Mirajane. He is more inclined to believe that the Bai Ye in front of him is not the person that Kanroji Mitsuri is looking for. Mr. Rengoku, what's wrong with you? From your tone just now, do you know Mr. Bai Ye? Tanjiro asked curiously. No, I just heard of this name by chance. Maybe it's the same name. Rengoku Kaijiro glanced at Bai Ye with a complicated look. Bai Ye smiled back. It was not surprising that Rengoku Kaijiro knew him, because if nothing unexpected happened, Mitsuri would be the mainstay of the Demon Slayer Corps now. For him, the last meeting with Kanroji Mitsuri was just over half a month ago. But for Kanroji Mitsuri, the two had been separated for several years. The young girl who used to be immature should have grown up completely now. Bai Ye was also looking forward to seeing him again, and the girl who changed her fate of death because of him when they met before returning. Bai Ye shook his head and put away his extra thoughts. Anyway, they would meet soon. Well, let's talk about the commission first. Bai Ye took out the synthetic commission from his pocket. Wait to see the familiar names and contents on it. Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Agitsuma Zenitsu all widened their eyes at the same time. This, I have some impression of this. Agitsuma Zenitsu screamed. Me too, I was sleeping at the time, and then a voice suddenly broke into my dream. Inosuke was shocked. So it wasn't a dream. Tanjiro's face was full of cuteness. Isn't it just me who heard that voice? Almost everyone in the Demon Slayer Corps heard it. Mr. Byakuya, you are indeed the messenger of God. Rengoku Kaijiro sighed. Bai Ye, you are Mirajane, who had been watching for a long time, was also shocked to the extreme at this moment. Originally, she thought that the commission that Byakuya received out of thin air was the effect of the lost magic transmission. Unexpectedly, the truth was more than 10,000 times more fantastic than she guessed. Listening to the sighs of Tanjiro and others, they seemed to have issued the commission in a dream. Are they really still in Ishgar? Or is it another continent? Is Byakuya really a god? I can't figure it out. I can't figure it out at all. Then we can only continue to observe. Everyone, Bai Ye's voice brought the three children and Rengoku Kaijiro back to their senses from the shock, and they all looked at Bai Ye. Then I will get straight to the point. My ultimate goal in accepting your commission this time is the Demon King Muzan Kabutsuji. I will kill Muzan for you within a week. Bai Ye spoke calmly, with strong confidence in his words. The voice fell. Rengoku, Kaijiro, and the three children were shocked at the same time, and their hearts were greatly shaken. In 1 week, kill the Demon King Muzan. What a domineering declaration. You should know that the struggle between their Demon Slayer Corps and the evil demons headed by Muzan has lasted for nearly 1,000 years. For thousands of years, they have been in a disadvantageous and suppressed situation. Not to mention the Demon King Muzan. Even the upper ranks can suppress them. In the past hundreds of years, no upper ranks have ever been killed by the Demon Slayer Corps. The only exception is the incident of the god's arrival a few years ago. But the one who attacked was not a member of the Demon Slayer Corps. In addition, the battle not long ago this morning, facing the upper ranks 3, the powerful pillars can only be crushed and cannot win at all. The upper ranks are so terrifying, not to mention the higher demon kings. The task that has not been completed for thousands of years. Now someone is threatening to complete it within a week. If it were someone else, they would never believe it. They think it is too fantastic and simply a fantasy. But since it is the godlike Bai Ye who spoke, maybe there's a chance. Byakuya-sama, can you really kill Muzan? Inosuke asked with anticipation. The upper ranks are already so terrifying, and the Demon King Muzan will only be stronger. Can you really do it? Zenitsu Agitsuma swallowed nervously. If Muzan dares to appear in front of me, I can kill him with one hand. Blow him up, Bai Ye said calmly. The 3 little ones all took a breath of cold air at the same time. He was about to cheer, but then he thought of something and his expression became a little tangled. If Bai Ye was really as powerful as he said, then just now, why didn't Rengoku Kaijiro take action when he was fighting upper rank 3 Akaza? If he could even blow up the Demon King Muzan, it should be a matter of minutes to kill Akaza. Could it be that God can also brag? Bai Ye could roughly guess what the 3 little ones were thinking, and he did not explain too much. In Bai Ye's view, upper rank 3 Akaza was just a small shrimp. Killing or not, It was just a matter of a thought. The reason why he did not intervene was purely to play a long game and catch a big fish. As a time traveler, Bai Ye knew all kinds of information about the Demon Slayer world. He knew that there were all kinds of secrets between the Demon King Muzan and other evil demons. There is some kind of connection. Muzan can see what is happening through the eyes of other demons. Several years ago, he killed upper rank 2 Doma, and Muzan should have seen it to some extent. If he saw me killing Akaza again, with Muzan's cautious character, he would be scared and hide directly. Back then, Muzan hid for 400 years after being slashed by Tsujikuka Yashiichi. If he felt threatened this time, he would hide. Let alone 400 years. Even 4 years would be too much for Bai Ye. There is no time to waste with a small Muzan. What if he takes the initiative to go and look for it? Even Bai Ye can hardly locate the location of the Infinite City in the other dimension, unless the Infinite City happens to appear near him. In this case, he could try to use Shadow Sneak Attack to break in. Everyone, time is tight and the task is urgent. I can't hunt Muzan in a week by myself, so I still need your help. Bai Ye said seriously. Please don't say that, Mr. Bai Ye. This is originally our business. Tanjiro waved his hands repeatedly. Although I don't quite understand, but I always feel it's on fire. Pig rush forward. Pig rush forward. Inosuke's blood is boiling. Mr. Bai Ye's instructions will be followed. Rengoku Kaijuro said solemnly. Then Rengoku, write a letter to Ubuyashiki to explain the situation and ask him to convene a meeting of the pillars. I will tell you all my plans at the meeting. Bai Ye said, I know. Rengoku Kaijuro nodded and immediately called the crow to write a personal letter. Ubuyashiki's residence in the mountains. The terminally ill King Nien sat on the edge, listening to the clinking sound of startled deer in the courtyard. At a certain moment, cackle a black bird flew across the sky. Is this Kaijuro's crow? Ubuyashiki Yoya's ears moved, and he determined the crow's owner from a sound. Not long after, Master Yoya, something big has happened. Ubuyashiki Tenin had an extremely shocked look on his face and reported the information conveyed by the crow to Ubuyashiki Yoya. The upper string of the infinite train appeared. Flame Pillar Purgatory Kaijuro fought to the death. When he was about to die, a divine messenger appeared, turned the tide, and revived the flame pillar from the brink of death. The divine messenger, named Byakuya, came here to kill the demon King Muzan and set a time limit. 1 week. Cough, 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 cough. Listening to his wife Tianin's story, Ubuyashiki Yoya's pale face turned red and he coughed violently. But this was not because of the recurrence of the old illness, but because of excitement and excitement. Good. After 3 years, the gods finally appeared again. I thought I would never see the scene of Muzan's death in this life, but I didn't expect that God gave me a chance. Kabutsuji Muzan, the only shame of our clan, this bloody struggle that lasted for 1,000 years, is about to end perfectly in my generation. Ubuyashiki Yoya was excited again and again. Master Yoya, the name Bai Ye mentioned in Kaijuro's letter, seems a little familiar to me. Ubuyashiki Tianin said, the person that Mitsuri has been thinking about is Bai Ye. Ubuyashiki Yoya nodded with satisfaction. There is also the god who saved Kane from upper rank 2 several years ago. I have a feeling that everything will continue. The crows scattered in all directions. Bring the latest orders from the Lord to the pillars of the Demon Slayer Corps, the king. The pillars meeting wasn't just held not long ago. Why is it being called again so soon? The gorgeous sound pillar Yuzui Tenjin was puzzled. Since it is the Lord's call, there is nothing we can do. Snake Pillar Iguro Abanai said, the Lord mentioned the infinite train. Is there something wrong with purgatory? Wind Pillar Fuzugawa Shima frowned. Namo Amitba. Rock Pillar Heiminju Gimiai clasped his hands together. Water Pillar Tomioka Mist Pillar Takedo Machiro. A busy street. Miss, this is incredible. This is incredible. You should be able to meet the person you want to meet soon. The old woman dressed as a charlatan exclaimed in amazement. Really? The girl with a cherry pink ponytail and a one-handed axe on her back had her eyes lit up. Mr. Bai Ye, can I really see you? Butterfly House. Sister, the Lord sent a letter to convene the meeting of the pillars again. Shinobu Kocho looked at her sister, who was worshipping devoutly, and sighed helplessly. Since being saved by the so-called God a few years ago, my sister has become a divine servant girl and is completely obsessed. Shinobu Kaneo, I have a feeling that something good may happen in the near future. Hermit Butterfly Kaneo opened her beautiful eyes and smiled brilliantly. Post views 721 Fairy Tale. The Request of All Worlds. See you at the beginning, chapter 055, chapter 55. The god who killed Doma was also Byakuya, shocking the Demon Slayer Corps for 100 years. Subscribe 3 days later. The Ubuyashiki Mansion in the mountains. The mainstays of the Demon Slayer Corps arrived one after another. At this moment, the atmosphere in the mansion was a little heavy. The reason was simple. It was all because the beloved Lord Ubuyashiki Yoya suddenly fell ill. Now, the top private doctor of the Ubuyashiki family and the Butterfly Sisters are urgently rescuing him. The other pillars who can't help can only pray for the safety of the Lord. Just then, wahaha! In the outer courtyard of the mansion, a heartless laugh of a young man came. As expected of the great god Bai Ye, it's really too awesome, the pig-headed boy Inisuk praised. With Byakuya, no matter if it's upper rank or musin, it's not a problem. Zenitsu Agatsuma echoed the flattery. After spending the past 3 days together, Rengoku Kaijiro and the three little ones no longer have the slightest doubt about Byakuya's strength. This is naturally proved by Byakuya's actions. Facing the flame pillar Rengoku Kaijiro in his prime, Byakuya suppressed him with just one finger. This expressiveness is far superior to upper-rank 3 Akaza. In addition, they also have a feeling that this is not all Byakuya's strength. With such a powerful Byakuya to help, it is not difficult to kill the Demon King Muzan. Thinking that the tragic war that lasted for 1,000 years is about to end, Flame Pillar Rengoku Kaijiro also laughed heartily. Unlike Rengoku, Kaijiro, and the three little ones who were excited, at this moment, the pillars in the inner courtyard were not happy. Now the life of the Lord is in danger, but someone is laughing so happily. The hot-tempered wind pillar, Fushigawa Sania, was so angry that veins bulged on his forehead. When Bai Ye and his party walked into the inner courtyard, Rengoku Kaijiro felt the subtle atmosphere at the first time, and the smile on his face disappeared. Without waiting for him to ask, swish! A figure like a gust of wind swept in, grabbed Agatsuma Zenitsu, who was laughing the happiest. What's so funny? Wind Pillar Fushigawa Sania opened his eyes wide and asked fiercely, wow, who are you so scary? So scary. So scary. Tanjiro, save me. Azuma Zenitsu screamed and cried out in fear. Stop, Fuzugawa! Rengoku Kaijiro stretched out his big hand and grabbed Fuzugawa Minoru's wrist. Rengoku Fuzugawa Minoru was halfway through his words. The next second, there was only a bang. Tanjiro, the head pillar, who had a nodding acquaintance with the wind pillar Fuzugawa Minoru in the previous meeting, once again had a nodding acquaintance with him. Hurry up and let go of Zenitsu. In under Tanjiro's iron head skill, even the strong wind pillar couldn't help but tilt his head back after being hit. His head was buzzing, and he subconsciously let go of his hand. You suffered twice from the same move. You are really getting worse and worse. Byakuya. The snake pillar Iguro Abanai, with heterochromatic eyes, flashed like a snake. But then again, Rengoku, we did something wrong this time. This is the site of the pillars meeting. Not just anyone can enter, especially with 2 strangers. Iguro Abanai's eyes were fixed on Bai Ye and Mirajane. The location of the Lord's mansion is top secret. It must not be leaked at all. Bringing strangers here is really a bit too much. Rengoku. The gorgeous sound pillar Yuzui Tenjin was also alert. Namo Amitabha. The strongest rock pillar of the Demon Slayer Corps, Baiming Yukime, clasped his hands together. Water pillar Tomioka Ju and mist pillar Toki, Keka, Takedo Machiro said nothing. However, they quietly moved their feet to occupy a position that just blocked Bai Ye's retreat. Everyone, I know your concerns, But the arrival of Mr. Bai Ye and Miss Mirajane was specially permitted by the Lord. In addition, Mr. Bai Ye is the key to killing Muzan Kibutsuji. He is our partner. Rengoku Kaijuro said loudly. That's right. Just as Guru Big Eye said, as long as you have the power of the great god Bai Ye, defeating Muzan is not a problem at all. The pig-headed boy Inasuk said, Mr. Bai Ye is a godlike existence. Tanjiro, who was carrying a wooden box, said seriously. Hearing this, all the pillars looked at each other in surprise, stared at Bai Ye again and again, but still couldn't figure out the reason. Wait a moment, Purgatory, what did you say this person's name was? Bai Ye. Iguro's Zyobanai's face changed, as if he thought of something. He was definitely familiar with the name Bai Ye, because this was the name that his favorite girl always mentioned and thought about. He was attracted to Kanroji Mitsuri the first time he saw her. However, due to his inferiority complex, he never dared to express it. Especially after knowing that Kanroji Mitsuri already had a lover, he dared not say it. He could only hide this love in his heart silently. But he also had a little thought in his heart. What if Kanroji Mitsuri's lover never appeared? Will he have a chance? However, this little thought was completely shattered with the appearance of Bai Ye. For a moment, Iguro Abanai's gaze towards Bai Ye became more fierce and complicated. He subconsciously tightened the sword in his hand, wanting to test the strength of the man who had always been worried about by Ganlu Temple. Not only Iguro Abanai, but also Sound Pillar Yuzui Tenjin and Wind Pillar Fushigawara Minami also put their hands on the swords at their waists. Rengoku, you have always been a reliable person. I should have believed your words, but no matter what you said this time is a little exaggerated. Sound Pillar Yuzui Tenjin raised his eyebrows. This man who doesn't look gorgeous at all is the key to killing Muzan? With that said, I can't help but be curious and want to test his depth. Forget it, Yuzui. You are far from being Mr. Bai Ye's opponent. Rengoku Kaijuro persuaded. What a bullshit god. I don't believe there are any gods in this world. If there are gods, why would he sit back and watch the evil spirits eat people without doing anything? What I hate most is the so-called gods. Wind Pillar Fuzuagawa Shima shouted and rebuked. I am very dissatisfied with the three little ones calling him a great god. Besides what is mentioned above, there is another unknown reason why Fushigawara Shima has such a big opinion on the gods. That is, the girl he likes has been completely captured by the so-called gods in the past few years. Don't think that you are great just because you are the pillars. You guys are not enough to beat the great god Bai Ye with one hand. Zenitsu Agatsuma, who was just scared to tears by the pillars and was in a bad mood, pointed at the wind pillar, the snake pillar, and others without hesitation. Wait a minute, Zenitsu. Don't say it so directly. It's too hurtful. Be tactful, be more tactful. Tanjiro spoke. The original intention was to persuade his friends to be tactful and give the pillars some face. However, the result was counterproductive. Hearing his words, the wind pillar Fushigawara Shima and the snake pillar Iguro Obana blushed. The atmosphere in the field became increasingly tense, and a fight was about to break out. Squeak, the door opened. Ahem, stop it. Sania, Abanai, Mr. Bai Ye is my guest. Ubiyashiki Yoya sat in a wheelchair and stopped him. My lord, how is your health? My lord, are you okay? Thank God. All the pillars rushed forward. It's okay now. Sorry to worry you. Ubiyashiki Yoya waved his hand, signaling everyone not to worry. Then he looked past the pillars and looked at Bai Ye not far away. Mr. Bai Ye, I am so sorry that my team members have caused you trouble. If my body allows, I will definitely apologize to you in person. It's okay, don't mind it. Bai Ye waved his hand nonchalantly. The shouting of the wind pillar, the snake pillar, and others was no different from the noise of children in his eyes. As a parent, Ubiyashiki Kakuya had already said so he naturally wouldn't care about anything. Bai Ye was more concerned about the two little ones who had once crossed paths, girl. I don't know if Kanroji Mitsuri is late or for some other reason, so she hasn't appeared yet. But the girl whose death fate he changed last time has appeared now. Bang! The sound of glassware breaking rang out, attracting everyone's attention. Sister, what's wrong with you? Kohime Shinobu looked at her sister, who suddenly froze in confusion. Kohime Kane, subconsciously covered her red lips with her little hand, and her beautiful big eyes suddenly turned red, with mist appearing. This was because of extreme excitement and joy, so that her delicate body couldn't help but tremble slightly. "Sister, what's wrong with you? Are you too tired?" Kohim Shinobu asked nervously. No, Shinobu. Sister's premonition has come true. God really appeared again." Kohim Kane cried excitedly. After that, under the shocked gazes of her sister, Shinobu Kocho, and the other pillars, Kane Kocho quickly came to Bai Ye. "Miss Kocho, long time no see." Bai Ye greeted with a smile. "I am not dreaming." "Hey," Kocho whispered, and then knelt down devoutly under the wide eyes of everyone. "God, since we parted that year, I have always wanted to see you again." Kanae Kocho raised her head and looked at Bai Ye with longing and admiration. Hey, Miss Kocho, I am not a god. My name is Bai Ye." Bai Ye was immediately at a loss for words, and quickly helped Kanae Kocho up. Never expected that a casual rescue at the time would create a believer. "Lord God Bai, no matter what, you are the god in my heart." Kanae Kocho's eyes were bright and colorful. "Hey, Byakuya is really amazing." Mirajane narrowed her eyes, with a bit of jealousy in her words. At the same time, looking at how Kanae Kocho addressed Bai, everyone in the Demon Slayer Corps was stunned. In this world, the only one who could make Kanae Kocho like this was the god who killed Upper String 2 and saved her from the water and fire. When they realized this fact, everyone present was shocked beyond measure. Post views, 776 Fairy Tale, The Request of All Worlds. See you at the beginning, chapter 056, chapter 56. Ganlu Temple dribbles into people, boldly confesses. Subscribe. Between the mountains, in the Ubuyashiki residence, there was total silence. All the members of the Demon Slayer Corps, led by Ubuyashiki Yoya, were stunned. What's going on now? Why are you all so surprised? Isn't it well known that Byakuya-sama is a god? The pig-headed boy Inosuke looked left and right and spoke in confusion. Sister Butterfly seems to know Mr. Byakuya. Tanjiro tilted his head in a silly way. You have just joined the Demon Slayer Corps, so you don't know about the incident a few years ago. Butterfly encountered Upper String 2 that night. When she was on the verge of death, a godlike man appeared and killed Upper String 2. It seems that the god is Mr. Byakuya. Rengoku Kaijiro nodded in understanding. Rengoku Kaijiro had guessed long before the Infinite Train incident was pulled back from the death line by Byakuya. After all, this world cannot have multiple godlike characters appearing out of thin air. Now, the answer is revealed. The sweetheart that Kanroji is thinking about and the god that Kocho Kane cares about are all the same person, Byakuya. Are you the god who saved my sister back then? Kocho Shinobu came back to her senses and stepped forward with Kocho Kane. Just call me Byakuya. Bai smiled and nodded. A red cloud flew over Kocho Shinobu's fair face. Mr. Byakuya, thank you very much. Kocho Shinobu bowed, saluted, and thanked. At the same time, she couldn't help thinking that the god was really good-looking. It's no wonder that my sister is so obsessed with it. If it were her, she would probably not be able to control herself. Mr. Byakuya is really a godlike figure. We are so lucky to have your help. Ubuyashiki Yoya sighed. Hey, I didn't expect it to be the same person. He can even kill the upper rank. It's really gorgeous. I am convinced. The gorgeous brother sound pillar, Yuzui Tenjin said. Namo Amitba. With the help of a strong man like Mr. Byakuya, killing Musen Kibutsuji may not be a fantasy. Rock Pillar Himura, Yukime, said with his hands together. Very powerful. It's really different from me. Water Pillar Tomioka, Ju whispered sadly. When Byakuya's record of killing upper rank 2 Doma was revealed, the attitudes of the demon slayers towards him suddenly changed. From being wary at the beginning to being full of admiration now. Of course, there are some exceptions. My lord, I really can't accept it. Even if this man is really powerful, there is no need to treat him like a god. Wind Pillar Fuzugawa, Shima, shook his head. No, you are wrong, Fuzugawa. Flame Pillar Rengoku Kaijiro spoke. Let me ask you, if someone's eyes are destroyed, his ribs are broken, or even his chest is pierced by a fist, can his body recover and survive? Huh, what do you mean? Do you think I'm an idiot? How can a human survive in this situation? Only a ghost can have the ability to regenerate. Wind Pillar Fuzugawa Minami immediately answered. But in fact, the example is right here, and I'm standing here safe and sound. Rengoku Kaijiro said. Rengoku, what do you mean? Snake Pillar Iguro Abanai frowned. In this infinite train incident, we not only encountered the lower string, but also encountered the upper string 3 Akaza. Rengoku Kaijiro immediately told everyone the whole story of the infinite train incident. When I heard that Rengoku Kaijiro had fought to the death with upper rank Akaza, his body was torn and he was seriously injured and dying. Kane Kocho, Shinobu Kocho, and others were all terrified. Tenjin Yuzui and Ju Tomioka looked solemn. They could imagine it. What a tragic battle that was. Wait a moment. If that's the case, Rengoku, why are you? Snake Pillar Iguro Abanai's pupils shrank suddenly, as if he thought of something incredible. That's right. The next point I want to explain is that when I was seriously injured and dying, it was Mr. Bai Ye who took action and used his magical means to heal and restore all the wounds on my body, reversing the miracle of life and death. Doesn't he deserve the title of God? Rengoku Kaijiro asked back. Hearing this, Rock Pillar Minju Gumii, Mist Pillar Takedo Machuro, and others all nodded in agreement. No, there's another thing that doesn't make sense. Wind Pillar Fushigawara Minoru seemed to have discovered something wrong. These are all facts that we have witnessed and experienced with our own eyes. What's wrong? You just want to find fault, right? Azuma Zenitsu shouted, and then quickly hid behind Tanjiro. It's not that I don't believe Rengoku's words, but this man, if he has killed upper string 2, then why didn't he kill upper string 3 this time? With his ability to kill the second upper string, he should be able to easily take down the third, instead of watching Rengoku and the devil fighting each other. Wind Pillar Fushigawara Minoru stared at Bai Ye with a burning gaze. Hearing this, the 3 little ones and Rengoku Kaijiro were all speechless. To be honest, this is also what they can't figure out. At first, they thought that Bai Ye's strength was insufficient. But along the way, Bai Ye's unfathomable power made them admire. Obviously, this is not because of strength. Mr. Bai Ye, Mirajane also looked at Bai Ye. She was also very curious about this question. It can't be that Bai Ye wants to show off his skills. A reasonable question. In that case, then I will say it directly. Everything is for the purpose of hunting down Muzan Kibutsuji. Bai Ye said lightly. Please enlighten me, Mr. Bai Ye. Ubuyashiki Kyoya looked solemn. The Ubuyashiki family has fought against Muzan for 1,000 years. As the head of the family, you should know the relationship between Muzan and other demons. Bai Ye asked back. Alas, Ubuyashiki Kyoya nodded. Muzan is the ancestor of demons. All demons were created by Muzan. With a few exceptions, Muzan can control all demons. At the same time, demons are also Muzan's eyes and ears, and so on. Ubuyashiki Kyoya seemed to understand the reason. The upper ranks are the most powerful demons after Muzan, especially the top 3. According to Kane, Mr. Byakuya's battle with upper rank 2 a few years ago was an overwhelming, crushing defeat. If Mr. Byakuya shows up again and kills upper rank 3 Akaza with overwhelming power, it will definitely alert Muzan. Based on my understanding of Muzan, in the worst case, he will remain dormant. As the wise leader of the Demon Slayer Corps, Ubuyashiki Kyoya has already understood. Listening to his analysis, the confusion in the hearts of the pillars was also suddenly clear. Bai Ye is not unable to kill Akaza, but he wants to play a long game and catch a big fish. He is very confident in his own strength, and is worried that he will be exposed if he takes action and then scare away the Demon King Muzan. In this way, everything makes sense. If you understand, this question is revealed, and the next step is to confirm the commission. Bai Ye completely mastered the rhythm of this meeting. He took out 4 folded synthetic commissions from his arms, except for Rengoku Kaijiro and the 3 little ones. Almost all the core members of the Demon Slayer Corps present contributed a copy for this commission. Looking at the commission that Bai Ye took out, Ubuyashiki Kyoya and the other pillars of the Demon Slayer Corps were even more shocked. It turns out that it was not a dream. Water Pillar Tomioka, Ju murmured. Because of our request, the great god Bai Ye is here. Mist Pillar Takedo Michiro followed the three little ones and began to call Bai Ye the great god. I'm sorry, Mr. Bai Ye. I'm sorry for offending you before. You are the most gorgeous. The gorgeous sound pillar Yuzui Tenjin said embarrassedly. Mr. Bai Ye, please give us your orders. As long as we can kill Muzan Kabutsuji, our Demon Slayer Corps will go all out and provide all help, even our lives. Kuya Ubuyashiki said firmly. It's not that serious. I just need some bait to lure Muzan to me. As long as he dares to show up, there's no need to go back. Bai Ye similite confidently. Bait? I get it. Our Ubuyashiki clan has been fighting against Muzan for thousands of years. For years, Muzan has been trying to find my base. I will spread the word and expose the location of the mansion. Kuya Ubuyashiki planned to use himself as bait without hesitation. What? Absolutely not. My lord, please take back your order. This is too dangerous. All the pillars' faces changed drastically. You don't need to dissuade me anymore. I have made up my mind. Besides, I believe in Mr. Bai Ye's ability. Kuya Ubuyashiki said firmly. However, the next second, but Bai Ye shook his head. That's not enough. With Muzan's cautious character, he will not fail to think that this is a trap. What we need is a bait that will make Muzan step on it, even though he knows it is a trap. Bai Ye's eyes immediately fell on Tanjiro. Everyone in the room looked at Tanjiro at the same time. Me? Tanjiro was stunned. Let Tanjiro become the bait? That won't work. Everyone was confused. Of course not. Bai Ye pointed at the box on Tanjiro's back. The real bait is Nezuko. I will make her a demon that can survive in the sun. In this way, Muzan, who is eager to overcome his weakness to the sun, will not be able to ignore him anyway. As soon as these words came out, the huge Ubuyashiki mansion fell into a dead silence again. Tap! The sound of hurried footsteps came. I heard the voice before I saw the person. My lord, everyone, I'm sorry, I'm late again. A girl's voice, full of energy, came from the direction of the outer courtyard. Swish! A graceful figure with a cherry pink ponytail and a golden axe on her back rushed in. Her eyes swept across the courtyard and then fixed on the familiar figure in the courtyard. The cherry mouth of Kanroji Mitsuri pursed. The beautiful big eyes were filled with mist, and she was about to cry. The next second, Mr. Bai Ye, Kanroji Mitsuri rushed forward with a thrilling arc in front of her. She directly hit the person with the ball and crashed into Bai Ye's arms like a cannonball. Wow, Mr. Bai Ye, you are finally back. I miss you so much. The girl ignored everyone present and confessed boldly. Bai Yejuan, you have so many female confidants. Mirajane narrowed her eyes in a subtle arc work. Post views, 742 Fairy Tale. The Request of All Worlds. See you at the beginning, Chapter 057, Chapter 57. Blood Baptism of the True Ancestor. Nezuko's Ultimate Evolution. Subscribe, Ubuyashiki Mansion. All members of the Demon Slayer Corps were stunned by Ye's bold words. At the same time, the last pillar of the Demon Slayer Corps, the love pillar Kanroji Mitsuri, finally arrived. With just one glance, Kanroji Mitsuri's sight was locked on the familiar figure in the field, and she could no longer move away. Whoa, Mr. Bai Ye, is it really you? Mr. Bai Ye, I finally found you. Do you know? In the past few years when you were away, I really missed you so much. Kanroji Mitsuri launched and crashed into Bai Ye's arms, causing dust to fly on the ground. This is Bai Ye. If it were an ordinary person, he would definitely be injured by Kanroji Mitsuri's brutal collision. However, after withstanding the impact of that moment, all that was left was the beautiful feeling. I haven't seen you for a few years. Mitsuri Kanroji has grown up completely. The justice in front of him is so great that he cannot grasp it with one hand. At this moment, he is close to Bai Ye, flattened like a pancake. The sensitive Bai Ye can even feel the front through his clothes. Bai Ye, you really don't know until you come. You are really scared. You have so many confidants. Mirajane squinted and smiled teasingly. with a bit of jealousy in her words. First it was Kocho Kane, and now it's Mitsuri Kanroji. A small Demon Slayer Corps, 987, has two outstanding, beautiful girls in love. At home, there are Medusa and Furlan. Who knows how many more there are in unknown places. It's simply the rhythm of red flags flying inside the house and colorful flags flying outside. Miss Mira, I can only say that this is all a wonderful surprise. Bai Ye shook his head helplessly. Mirajane did not comment. Okay, Mitsuri, come down quickly, everyone is watching. Bai Ye comforted Mitsuri Kanroji, who was hanging on him like an octopus. I don't want Mr. Bai Ye to disappear suddenly without saying a word like last time, Mitsuri Kanroji said. I won't do that this time. Bai Ye touched Kanroji's little head. On the other side, the demon slayers came back to their senses one after another from their shock. Does Ms. Kanroji also know Mr. Bai Ye? Tanjiro asked in a daze with his eyes wide open. That's right. The reason why Kanroji joined the Demon Slayer Corps was to find Mr. Byakuya. Rengoku Kaijiro nodded. This is not a secret in the Demon Slayer Corps. Not only the pillars, but also many ordinary members know it. When Kanroji Mitsuri first joined the Demon Slayer Corps, she asked almost everyone she met if they knew Byakuya. Namo Amitabha. Now everything makes sense. Kanroji's sword is called Drita's axe, is the divine weapon. Rock Pillar Beiminjiu, Shingmei nodded in understanding. Sister, God and Mitsuri-chan, Kohiko, Shinobu looked at her sister with some concern. It doesn't matter, as long as I can see God again, I will be satisfied, Kene Kucho said without any concern, but a little bit of depression flashed in her eyes. Snake Pillar Iguro Abanai was also depressed. He knew that he would never have a chance in his life. Compared to the dazzling Bai Ye, he was just a tiny firefly on the ground. But he was already satisfied to see Kanroji Mitsuri so happy and silently blessed her in his heart. After a long while, after Bai Ye's persuasion, Kanroji Mitsuri finally let go of Bai Ye's hand. Sorry, my lord, everyone, I'm late again. Kanroji Mitsuri scratched her head in awe, and it was obvious that this was not the first time she was late. It doesn't matter. We all know the reason why you are late. Kuya Ubuyashiki nodded indifferently. There are two special places in the Demon Slayer Corps. One is the Swordsmith Village where the team members forge the Nichiren sword. The other is the headquarters of the Lord Ubuyashiki clan. Both places are covered in complex ways. Even if you're a pillar, you cannot know the exact location. You need to cover your eyes with a blindfold to enter and exit, and then be carried by a special person, and you have to transfer several times on the way. The reason why Kanroji Mitsuri is often late is because she is too heavy. It's not that she is too heavy, but the Divine Axe Rita is too heavy. Ordinary team members can't lift it at all and need to transport it in a carriage. Even a carriage cannot maintain high speed when transporting. This problem will be solved soon. From now on, Mitsuri will just have to go at full speed when coming here. Kobayashiki Yoya said, my lord, what does this mean? Kanroji Mitsuri tilted her head in confusion. Just now, I have decided to make this base public. Kobayashiki Yoya said, This won't work. It's too dangerous. Kanroji Mitsuri's reaction was similar to that of the previous pillars. This is a decision made by Mr. Byakuya and I, in order to defeat Muzan Kibutsuji. Kobayashiki Yoya said. Kanroji, Rengoku Kaijiro immediately informed Kanroji Mitsuri of the previous meeting decision. I see. Since it is Mr. Byakuya's decision, I will naturally support it with all my strength. Mitsuri Kanroji nodded in support without hesitation. That Mr. Byakuya, can you really make my sister make Nezuko return to her original appearance? Tanjiro took a deep breath and asked nervously. Sorry, Tanjiro, I don't have any medicine that can turn a demon back into a human. The most I can do is to make Nezuko no longer afraid of the sun, and to be able to talk and live like an ordinary person. Bai Ye said, That's enough. That's enough. Tanjiro nodded repeatedly. Letting Nezuko live like an ordinary person is already a miracle of turning back into a human. Inosuke and Agatsuma Zenitsu exclaimed. Mr. Bai Ye, how do you do it specifically? Is there anything we can help you with? Ubiyashiki Keiru asked excitedly. It is also an honor for them to witness the magic of God with their own eyes. No, you guys step back a little. Bai Ye took the box from Tanjiro and came to the platform under the eaves. Opened it. Little Nezuko rubbed her eyes sleepily and slowly climbed out. In the past 3 days, Nezuko and Bai Ye have become familiar with each other, so they are not afraid of anything. Nezuko, you may feel something strange next, but please don't be afraid. I'll take care of everything. Bai Ye stroked Nezuko's little head with his big hand. Nezuko nodded obediently. Bai Ye looked solemn and put his right index finger and middle finger together, writing one symbol after another in the air. Taoist Kinkson talisman and Hun talisman all fell all around. Then he drew a complicated and mysterious magic circle on the ground. This is the result of Bai Ye and Fu Lilian's research together. Of course, whether as Taoist captives or Western fantasy magic circles, they're just side dishes. The real main dish is the blood that Bai Ye obtained from his work in the Type Moon world. The strongest vampire ancestor, the blood of Zhuyu. Since the system has rewarded it, Bai Ye will naturally find a way to use it. However, Bai Ye does not want to transform himself into a dead apostle. In addition, it is unknown whether there will be other side effects of absorbing this drop of blood. After bringing Furlan back to the fairy tale world, Byakuya once did research with Furlan. As a genius, Furlan did analyze the mystery of this drop of blood and developed a relatively feasible magic circle specifically. Now, it can be used here. For Nezuko, who is a demon, this ceremony is an evolution. The process of evolving from a low-level evil demon in the Demon Slayer world to a high-level dead apostle true ancestor in the Type Moon world. The essence of the two is similar. Both are blood-sucking creatures, but the life level is very different. After making all preparations, Byakuya flipped his hand and took out a small jade bottle. Tick! The bright red blood dripped onto the center of Nezuko's forehead. Swish, the blood-colored light suddenly shone brightly, covering Nezuko's whole body. Wow! Nezuko screamed in pain. Nezuko! Tanjiro screamed nervously. Kamadu boy, believe in Mr. Byakuya. Rengoku Kaijuro held Tanjiro. Hearing this, Tanjiro's nervous thoughts gradually calmed down. In fact, Nezuko's scream of pain was only the first one. That was caused by the collision between the blood of the Vermilion Moon and the blood of the Demon King in Nezuko's body. But it only took a moment. The low-level Demon King blood was completely suppressed and swallowed up by the blood of the true ancestor. The blood-colored cocoon wrapped around Nezuko, and the mysterious baptism was in progress. Boom, boom, boom. The beating of the heart was like a drum. Nezuko's life level rose rapidly. It didn't take long. The drum-like sound of the heart suddenly stopped. Crack! Cracks appeared on the bloody cocoon. Finally, accompanied by a loud bang, the bloody cocoon exploded, along with the exploded 3.0 and several adjacent wooden houses. The powerful shock wave spread, causing all the members of the Demon Slayer Corps to retreat. In the midst of this, there was also a terrifying pressure. Nezuko slowly landed in the wood chips falling from the sky, exuding a powerful aura like a queen. The next second, swish! Nezuko opened her eyes. The blood-red pupils became visibly clear. Brother, Nezuko spoke awkwardly and smiled. Nezuko! Tanjiro cried with joy, jumped forward, and hugged his sister excitedly. At this moment, Asakusa, a rich man's house. The ghost King Muzan, who turned into a Shota, suddenly grabbed the teacup in his hand. What's wrong? What did it feel like before? The Shota Muzan stroked his forehead with one hand, and the veins on his forehead bulged. I can only vaguely feel that a ghost has completely escaped from my control. No, not just escaped. I am overwhelmed then. What? If I can eat her and gain that power, I don't need to look for blue spider lilies anymore. I will definitely be able to evolve into a true ultimate creature. Ha ha ha. Post views, 776 Fairy Tale, The Request of All Worlds. See you at the beginning, Chapter 058, Chapter 58. Eaten Mitsuri Kanroji. The scumbag boss Wuzon took the bait. Subscribe, Under the sun, the boys and girls ran, chased, and played happily, and the scene was beautiful. As expected of Mr. Bai Ye, he really keeps his word. Rengoku Kaijiro laughed heartily and sighed. Great, the cute Nezuko-chan can run in the sun. Kanroji Mitsuri was full of joy. As a cute girl, Kanroji Mitsuri fell in love with Nezuko at the first sight. This is the method of God, Kohiko Shinobu unconsciously murmured. It's unbelievable that the weakness of the sun has been overcome, and a demon who is not afraid of the sun is born. Wind Pillar Fuzugawa, Shima muttered to himself. No, Nezuko can be said to be a human now. Kohiko Kane said. During the Infinite Train incident, the girl who turned into a demon tried her best to protect the passengers. No matter what you think, I have already recognized Nezuko as a member of the Demon Slayer Corps. Rengoku Kaijiro said firmly. That's true, but that moment before that terrifying pressure, Snake Pillar Iguro Abanai recalled the scene of Nezuko breaking out of the cocoon, and fear arose in his heart. It was like a prey facing a predator at the top of the food chain. Everyone, let's stop chatting here. Ubuyashiki Yoya clapped his hands and interrupted everyone's discussion. Next, pass on my order to open all the roads leading to the mansion. In addition, order people to deliver a large amount of food. Congratulations to Mr. Byakuya and Miss Mirajane and Nezuko's new life. Oh, hearing that there was something to eat, the foodie girl Kanroji Mitsuri was the first to respond. That night, a grand banquet was held at the Ubuyashiki mansion. Not only the 9 pillars, but also the nearby Demon Slayer Corps members were invited. 26 Murata and other passers-by members were not clear about the intention of such a big fanfare. In short, even the Lord and the pillars did the same, so they just followed the celebration. After eating and drinking, the ordinary members continued to go out on patrol, while the pillars stayed in the mansion. Now that the base camp was exposed, no one could be sure that Muzan would not appear tonight. Mr. Bai Ye, Miss Mirajane, please come in. If you have anything to ask, please let me know. The hostess, Ubuyashiki Tenin, personally led Bai Ye and the others to the guest room. Thank you. It's getting late, madam. Please go back and rest early. Bai Ye smiled and nodded. Yes. After seeing off Ubuyashiki Tenin, Bai Ye's eyes immediately fell on Mirajane. Miss Mira, if you have any questions, you can ask them now. No. Mirajane swung her hand and closed the sliding door. Bai Ye, what happened to Miss Mira today? Why do you feel a little irritable? Forget it. Maybe it's her period. Women always have those days. Bai Ye didn't care too much and was just about to rest. Dang, there was a knock on the door. Mr. Bai Ye, are you asleep? The voice of Mitsuri Kanroji came from outside the door. Not yet, come in. Bai Ye said. Click. The door opened. The door closed. Mitsuri Kanroji was only wearing a loose bathrobe. Her hair was not dry, and she had the fresh scent of flower petals on her body. Her little face was flushed, and I didn't know if it was because of drinking or something else. Mitsuri, it's so late, what's the matter? Bai Ye asked. Kanlusi Mitsuri did not answer. The next second, she got into Bai's bed without saying a word and hugged Bai with both hands. Mr. Bai left without saying a word last time. It was too much. This time, I won't let you sneak away again. Kanlusi Mitsuri spoke firmly, staring at Bai with burning eyes. Sorry, I will tell you in advance next time. Bai touched the girl's little head. Kanlusi Mitsuri was silent. She would understand Bai's words. That is to say, after completing the task of killing Muzan, Bai still had to leave. This was also a matter of course. How could such a great god like Bai stay with her all the time? After a long silence, Mr. Bai Ye, what's the matter? Take me. The moonlight fell, and the girl's eyes were like a pool of autumn water. Okay, at this moment, the Ghost Base Camp, Infinite City. This is a city that exists in another space. As far as the eye can see, all are Japanese-style buildings. In this city, there is no distinction between up and down, left and right, and the space is completely disordered. The one who is in charge of controlling the city is Naruto, who succeeded Doma as the new upper rank too. Originally, with Naruto's strength, it is impossible for her to inherit the title of the second upper rank. If the battle was reversed, she might not even be able to beat Daki, the pendant sister of upper rank 6, Jifutaro. The reason why he can stay in this position is purely because Akaza, who is ranked 3rd, does not have this intention. If Akaza does not move, Yuhu and Hantengo below him will naturally not dare to move rashly. After all, he may have just changed positions in the previous second and will be beaten down by Akaza in the next moment. As the Demon King, Muzan does not care about the ranking of his subordinates. He only cares about ability, and it happens that Mingnu's Blood Demon art is very useful. Just now, I found one of the 2 deepest bases hidden by the Demon Slayer Corps. Yuhu said, "What, Yuhu? Did you find the location of that hateful swordsmith village?" Daki said, No, it's another place." Yuhu shook his finger. If it's not the swordsmith village, could it be the residence of Ubuyashiki? Akuza's pupils shrank suddenly. That's right. It's the residence of Ubuyashiki. To be honest, if they hadn't neglected it because of the party, I wouldn't have been able to find it. Lord Muzan, I have confirmed that the current head of the hateful Demon Slayer Corps, Ubuyashiki, is also here. Do you want to attack now? I am willing to lead the way and take down Ubuyashiki's head for Lord Muzan. Yuhu volunteered. Wait, in the elegant attic, a tall figure with 6 eyes stepped out. The upper string and 1 in his pupils represent his identity. The upper string 1, Kokoshibo. Lord Muzan, the Ubuyashiki clan is born cunning and scheming. Their base has been hidden for thousands of years and has not been discovered. How could it be exposed by such a coincidence now? There must be a trick, Kokoshibo said in a deep voice. If you can think of this kind of thing, I certainly can't. The king of demons, Muzan, spoke arrogantly. It doesn't matter what Ubuyashiki wants to do. Now we have more important things to do. I need you to find a demon. Once you find her, you must bring her back no matter what the cost. Who to find? All the upper ranks looked stern. From Muzan's words, they heard infinite desire. A demon that has escaped my control. A demon that may have overcome its weaknesses and can walk in the sun. Muzan Kibutsuji's face was full of expectations and hopes. Lord Muzan, how could a demon be able to obey your orders? We must do our best to fulfill Lord Muzan's long-cherished wish. Girl Futaro quickly interrupted his brainless sister's speech. The demon gathering ends here. The next day, early in the morning, in the Ubuyashiki residence. Good morning, Miss Mira. Bai Ye stretched and greeted Mirajane, who had gotten up early. What good morning? Mirajane said unhappily. Miss Mira, why are your eyes so dark? Did you not sleep well last night? Looking at Mirajane's dark circles, Bai Ye couldn't help but ask with concern. Mirajane clenched her little pink fist. She thought to herself, who was the reason why I didn't sleep well? Young people are never satisfied once they start to toss and turn. Last night, when she was about to fall asleep, there was a sound from the next door. Although Mirajane was a novice, she still had some knowledge of that aspect. If it were someone who didn't know, she would have to open the door to find out. It was because she knew what Bai Ye was doing that Mirajane didn't disturb him. Besides, she had no right to interrupt or disturb him. If she was Bai Ye's girlfriend, then she would naturally have the right to speak. But between her and Bai Ye, now it was just a pure partnership. Mirajane thought of Medusa, who lived with Bai Ye. However, Medusa had made it clear that she was not Bai Ye's wife or lover. As for Fulilian, she was more like Bai Ye's daughter, similar to Sakura. If you think about it carefully, Bai Ye, as an adult male, has needs, which is natural. Mitsuri Kanroji also has a deep love for Bai Ye. They are a talented man and a beautiful woman, and they are in love with each other. What does it have to do with her? Mirajane used a lot of ideological construction to convince herself. However, she still felt a little blocked in her heart. She also unconsciously had a strange feeling in her body. She spent most of the night in a daze and got up early at the crowing of the cock. Sorry, Miss Mira, I forgot about you. Looking at Mirajane's resentful expression, Bai Ye finally realized the reason. Last night, he was so engrossed in the game with Kanroji Mitsuri that he forgot to cast the soundproofing magic. As compensation, Miss Mira, I will pay for all your consumption today. In addition, The cost of the local specialties for everyone in the guild will be charged to my account and deducted from my salary. Bai Ye said generously. You said this? I won't be polite to you. Mirajane raised a devilish arc at the corner of her mouth. 8 o'clock in the morning, according to the predetermined plan. Mira brought the 3 little ones and the ultimate evolved Nezuko to the bustling city to buy and buy. Rengoku, Kaidoro, Yuzui Tenjin, and other pillars followed and protected in secret. In addition, Fuzugawa Shia, Iguro Abanai, and others still stayed in the mansion to guard against the sudden attack of evil spirits. In the evening, Mirajane and the 4 little ones returned to the mansion with large and small bags, feeling satisfied. The joyful banquet for all members continued. At the same time, in the Infinite City, the high-level meeting of the Ghost Camp was held again. Have you found it? The efficiency is not bad this time. Listening to the subordinates report, the always harsh and scumbag boss Muzan rarely praised. I'll speak first. The pendant sister of the lower 6G Futaro, Daki, spoke first. I heard from the demon slayers who came to the Flower Street that the boy who joined the team this year and carried a demon sister was finally freed and no longer had to carry his sister every day. So, I guess that must be the demon that Master Muzan was looking for. TSK, it turns out that you've been talking about hearsay for so long, but I'm different. The upper 5 Yuhu flashed over. Master Muzan, I did see that the human boy wearing the Hanafuda earrings, his sister who turned into a demon, has indeed overcome the sunlight and can move freely in the sunlight. And the demon girl is now in the mansion of Ubuyashiki. The intelligence expert Yuhu reported. What? You're talking about the same person as I guessed. Daji pouted. Enough. Shut up. Muzan's dignified shout immediately silenced the quarreling Daji and Yuhu. On the high platform, the Ghost King Muzan bit his finger and frowned. The 1,000-year-old Ubuyashiki mansion was exposed. The ghost girl who overcame the weakness of sunlight and awakened the mysterious power. These two are all together, which is unusual no matter how you look at it. But even if he knew it was a trap, he had to step on it. After all, the bait was too fragrant. It was so tempting that he couldn't refuse it at all. 1 day, 2 days. Finally, after waiting cautiously for another 2 days, Kibutsuji Muzan can no longer suppress his desire to become the ultimate creature. On the 7th day, after Byakuya and Mirajane landed in Demon Slayer World, the Demon King Muzan appeared. Post views, 777 Fairy Tale. The Request of All Worlds. See you at the beginning. Chapter 059. Chapter 59. Total War. The confrontation between the pillars and the upper ranks. Subscribe. It was late at night, and the world was quiet. Darkness enveloped the earth. 2 red plum blossoms lit up in the pitch-black night. Those were the eyes of a person, or more precisely, the red pupils of Ghost. Talp! The man in a suit and tie walked gracefully. He walked through the dark forest and past the pavilion gate. Finally, he stopped at a courtyard. Rushing the night wind blew the fallen leaves all over the sky. At the same time, his black windbreaker rustled, and his posture was extraordinary. Nice to meet you, Muzan Kibutsuji. Beside the edge of the Japanese building, Ubuyashiki Yoya sat calmly, looking forward, without sadness or joy, and even without fear. What an ugly posture, Ubuyashiki. The Demon King Muzan spoke with pity. You finally came to me, Muzan Kibutsuji, the demon that our clan, the Demon Slayer Corps, has been chasing for thousands of years. I knew you would come, because you must be very angry with me, the Ubuyashiki clan. So I thought you would come to kill me yourself. Ubuyashiki Yoya said, I feel disappointed from the bottom of my heart. Ubuyashiki, you are ignorant of the world, the head of the clan who has been hindering me for thousands of years. But you are so miserable. Ugly. It's really too ugly. I can smell the smell of a corpse from you. Ubuyashiki. Muzan Kibutsuji said coldly. That's right, just a few days ago. The doctor told me that I don't have much time left. Ubuyashiki Yoya smiled. So, you deliberately exposed your base because you were going to die and finally wanted to die in my hands? Or do you want me to save you? The Ghost King Muzan also laughed. You may not know that we have the same blood, but you should have been born more than 1,000 years ago. Ubuyashiki Yoya said to himself. What do you want to say? I won't feel pity for you because of this. The Ghost King Muzan said indifferently. Because of the appearance of a monster like you, our family has been cursed. All the children born are weak and sickly, and will die soon. Ubuyashiki Yoya calmly told this unknown secret. What you said is so absurd and makes me want to vomit. Has your disease spread to your brain? There is no causal relationship between these things. If you want to know why, it's because I haven't received any punishment from heaven. The Ghost King Muzan smiled complacently. No matter how many hundreds, thousands, or tens of thousands of people I have killed, God still allows me to exist. In these thousands of years, I have never seen a god or Buddha. So that's what you think, but I also have my own ideas. Muzan, what is your dream? What kind of dream have you been dreaming in these thousands of years? Ubuyashiki Kyoya asked, without waiting for Muzan to answer. Let me guess, Muzan, you dream of eternity, dream of immortality. That's right, and it will come true soon. I came here tonight for this. As long as I can get Nezuko, I can evolve into a true ultimate creature. The Ghost King Muzan said, your dream will never come true, Muzan. This is the only thing I can be sure of. Ubuyashiki Kyoya said firmly. Really? I'm really curious. Where does your mysterious confidence come from? Is it just relying on those ghost hunters who hide in the dark and dare not show up? The Ghost King Muzan laughed. Ubuyashiki, oh Ubuyashiki, you are the most stupid among all the Ubuyashiki who have fought with me for 1,000 years. You actually want to kill me with such a simple trap? If I was so easy to be killed, I would not have existed for 1,000 years. But thanks to your stupidity, I can achieve my dream ahead of time. After killing you, I will eat Nezuko. By then, I will be truly invincible in heaven and earth. Ha ha ha. The proud and arrogant laughter echoed in the night sky. Really, I can't stand it. Pig rush. Pig rush. The impatient shouting of the pig-headed boy Inosuke came from the west wing. The people in the east wing moved faster than Inosuke. Bang! The rows of wooden doors were chopped into pieces by the brilliant knife light. Kibutsuji, Muzan, Wind Pillar Fushigi Minoru, Snake Pillar Iguro Abanai, Flame Pillar Rengoku Kaijuro, Sound Pillar Yuzui Tenjin, and Head Pillar Kamadu Tanjiro all jumped up at once, with raging rage, and launched their strongest killing moves at Muzan. Breathing of Flame, 9 forms, Revenge. Breathing of Wind, 9 forms, Veda Tentai Wind. Breathing of Snake, 5 forms, Winding Long Snake. Breathing of Sound, 5 forms, Sound Playing Strings. God of Fire Kagura, Dragon of Halo, Toma. Instantly, the sky and the earth changed color. Flames rose, winds howled, snakes hissed, and thunder roared. Really? Didn't we agree to wait for the Lord's instructions? In this case, I won't care anymore. The wooden door on the west was violently smashed through by a slender figure. Bang, bang, bang. Mitsuri Kanroji took heavy steps and jumped up. The cloth wrapped around the divine axe Rita was torn. Love breathing. Form 1. The hammer of first love. Wakaka, I'm coming too. The pig-headed boy Inosuke followed closely behind. Breath of the Beast. Form 8. Explosion and rush. Sister, let's go too. The butterfly sisters also attacked. At the same time, the inarticulate water pillar Tomioka Ju and the mist pillar Takedo Machiro were also swept out. Water breathing, form 10, flowing. Misty breathing, land type, moon, the clouds disappeared. The demon slayers attacked together, and everything happened in a flash. The timing of the people in the west wing was only a moment slower than that of the east. Finally, all the swords and sabers almost simultaneously attacked Muzan Kibutsuji in the courtyard. Faced with the angry attack of the demon slayers, the look on the face of the Demon King Muzan did not change from beginning to end. He didn't even move a step, as if he had accepted his fate and was ready to take all the attacks. Is this really the case? Of course not. Click, click, click. The sound of the door opening rang out one after another. Wooden doors appeared out of thin air on the left and right of Muzan and opened. Ferocious and ugly figures rushed out from them. Destruction kill, demon core Ye core. Thousand needles, fish kill. Blood demon jutsu, flying blood scythe. Joy, anger, sorrow, joy, boom, 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 boom. Powerful and terrifying blood demon jutsu were launched simultaneously. This was the first collective collision between the strongest pillars of the Demon Slayer Corps and the strongest upper ranks among the demons. In terms of numbers, the Demon Slayer Corps had nearly twice as many people as the upper ranks. But the final result was that the pillars of the Demon Slayer Corps were collectively repelled. Now that there is no awakening of the three-piece set of markings, red swords, and transparent world, the gap between a single pillar and the upper ranks is huge. It can even be said that without 2 or 3 pillars joining forces, it is impossible to compete with the upper ranks. In the group battle, the upper ranks will have an even greater advantage. However, in this first round of confrontation, the Demon Slayer Corps was not without any skills. When Inosuke and Kocho Shinobu were blown away by Han Tengu Colla's banana fan, Mitsuri Kanroji, who was also hit by the banana fan, supported herself with the weight of the divine axe Rita. She chopped off Colla's head with her backhand, and then cut off Sora and Ijutsu, who came to help on the spot. Damn it, what's going on? My body can't take it anymore. Han Tengu's clones all screamed. What a useless guy. The evil ghost with anger written on his tongue raised his right hand. The next second, a mouth appeared in his palm. It released an unparalleled attraction, absorbing the bodies of the 3 partners that were cut in half. As the 4 merged, the final enraged figure also changed dramatically. The final form of Han Tengu, Zimpoten, appeared. Wow, what the hell is this? It actually absorbed all of its partners. Kanroji Mitsuri couldn't help but scream cutely. Calm down, Mitsuri. Those people you just cut off, they're all C. I'm afraid they are the clones of the same evil ghost, and now they are united. Flower Pillar Butterfly Kane said solemnly. Haha, what a keen insight, but can you find the poison on my needle? The 2 guys over there may be unable to walk steadily. They were hit to protect you. Upper String 5 Yuhu pointed to the Mist Pillar and Water Pillar that were injured by the sudden attack of the 1,000 fish needles not far away. No problem. No big deal. Takedo Machiro and Tomioka Ju said calmly. On the other side, is that Upper String 3 Akaza. Wind Pillar Fuzugawa Shima opened his bloodshot eyes and glared at the front. Not only Upper String 3, but also Upper String 6. Snake Pillar Iguro Abanai looked solemn. Akaza, Flame Pillar Rengoku Kaijiro, who once died at the hands of Akaza, clenched the Nichiren sword in his hand. Oh, Kaijiro. Isn't this Kaijiro? You're still alive. You're still alive. Akaza's face showed an expression as if he had seen the most incredible thing in the world. Unbelievable. This is impossible. How could this be possible? How did you survive with such serious injuries? Or in just a few days, all the wounds on your body have healed. Have you finally become an evil ghost? Kaijiro, this is really too happy. Stop talking nonsense, Akaza. My choice will not change in the past or now. I will never become a ghost. Rengoku Kaijiro said firmly. If you hadn't turned into a demon, how did you survive? Could it be that you were blessed by God? Akuze asked. Rengoku Kaijiro, no comment. Upper 6, worthy of my slash. Sound Pillar Yuzui Tenjin fixed his eyes on Gyutara. Your blood tastes good too. Gyutara stuck out his tongue and licked the blood on the tip of the knife. These damn demon hunters are getting more and more annoying. I'm going to tie up their lord and make them all kneel down and beg for mercy. The pendant sister of Upper 6 attacks. The pink ribbon passes through the ground and finally breaks out of the ground beside Ubuyashiki Yoya. Succeeded, Dakheim didn't finish her words. Bang! A loud noise. A huge meteor hammer flew out from the front wing and smashed Dakheim's head. And it continued to move forward, rushing straight towards the head of the Demon King Muzan. Mr. Bai Mingu. The faces of all the members of the Demon Slayer Corps were shocked because the strongest among them had taken action. However, faced with the strongest offensive of the Demon Slayer Corps, the Demon King Muzan still didn't even look at it. Was another door open wide. With 6 eyes, the tall demon stepped out. Upper string 1, Black Death Mao. The strongest demon under Demon King Muzan casually slashed and swung the meteor hammer to the side. Li Di Heo, did you see that? Ubayashiki, the strongest demon swordsmen you rely on are nothing in front of me. I don't even need to do it myself. They can kill everyone. This is the gap between you and me. This is the gap between you humans and stronger creatures. Demon King Muzan smiled triumphantly. It seems that you are well prepared today. As that person said, you are really timid. Ubayashiki Yoya also smiled and laughed. What did you say? The smile on Demon King Muzan's face froze, and veins on his forehead bulged. Besides these demon slayers, do you have anyone else to rely on? Is it the people in that house? The Ghost King Muzan looked at the door behind Ubayashiki. He had sensed the presence of a person behind that door early in the morning. But he did not take it too seriously, because compared to the pillars on the left and right, the human breath behind this door was really weak, and Muzan thought it was Ubayashiki's family. But click, the last door opened. A man and 2 women, 3 figures immediately appeared in the sight of Muzan and the ghosts. Except for Nezuko, whom Muzan had been thinking about, the other 2 were relatively unfamiliar. Lord Muzan, that woman has appeared with Nezuko before. Yuhu pointed at Mirajane and said, as for the man next to them, even Yuhu, who was good at intelligence investigation, could not help but frown. Just then, it was you. The Ghost King Muzan recognized Bai Ye, and his cat-like red plum pupils shrank suddenly. Oh, we finally meet, Muzan. You really made me look for you. Bai Ye grinned kindly. Post views, 755 Fairy Tale. The Request of All Worlds. See you at the beginning, chapter 060, chapter 60. The Supreme Warrior. The Strongest Punch. Kill Akaza instantly. Subscribe. As the ancestor of demons, Muzan can turn humans into demons by giving them his blood. While giving blood, he will also place a curse in the demon's body. Through the curse, Muzan can read its thoughts and grasp its location. That night a few years ago, Muzan read the last scene that upper rank 2 Doma saw before his death. Through the blazing fire, Muzan vaguely saw the face of Bai Ye. At this moment, it matches the appearance of the man in front of him perfectly. After discovering that Doma was killed by a mysterious strong man, the timid Muzan became more cautious in his actions, quietly investigating Bai Ye's identity in secret. In the end, it was fruitless. Bai Ye seemed to have evaporated from the face of the earth and completely disappeared from this world. Although Muzan still had concerns as a king, he couldn't always be so cautious. Gradually, Muzan also sealed this matter. Until now, looking at Bai Ye's familiar face, past memories began to attack Muzan's brain. It's you, you appear again. Muzan's voice rose more than an octave. Muzan, you really didn't let me down. You showed up within the agreed time limit. If you exceed it, I will really have a headache. Bai Ye smiled slightly. On the day of the Infinite Train incident, Bai Ye once made a bold statement to Rengoku Kaijuro and the 3 little ones. To solve the Demon King Muzan Kabutsuji within a week. Today, it has been exactly 1 week. The reason why Bai Ye set this deadline at that time was not to show off, but because time was tight. After many times of traveling, Bai Ye has determined that the time flow rate of the 2 worlds will be equal during his travel and work. 150, there are only 9 days left before the start of the S-level assessment of Fairy Tale this year. If the problem of Demon Slayer World can be solved within a week, plus the time spent on the subsequent follow-up work, Bai Ye can just dare to go back before the assessment begins and participate in the S-level test. But if Muzan is too cautious and does not show up within a week, then Bai Ye can only give up this year's S-level assessment. After all, the assessment is held every year, and if you miss the work, you really miss it. If Muzan leads a team to attack and destroy the Demon Slayer Corps during his assessment, there will be no place to complain. Since you have taken this job, you must complete it from beginning to end and beautifully. In this way, it will not be a disgrace to the reputation of Fairy Tale. Lord Muzan, who is that man? The upper-rank pendant Daki who was shot in the head by Gyumii did not die, and her head quickly regenerated. So that's how it is. I finally understand why you are so fearless. Abuyashiki. Muzin's eyes were dim. This men are your biggest support. You think that as long as this man is here, you can compete with me? Ah, Wuken laughed. What a wild idea. You just killed a Doma, and you have the illusion that you can compete with me. You are doomed to fail miserably if you bet everything on this man. You think so? What a coincidence. My idea is exactly the opposite of yours. Abuyashiki Kaoya said lightly. What? He killed Doma. Was it this man who did it? Hearing Muzin's words, Daki and Jifuturo's pupils shrank at the same time. Although they are evil spirits, they still remember Doma's kindness. It is because of Doma that they have the opportunity to be reborn. They who are at the bottom of society have the opportunity to turn over and become the masters. Faced with the enemy, Daki and Jifutaro both showed their murderous intentions. Sparasi. It's really Sparasi. Before the two siblings, another demon took the lead. Swish. Upper rank 3 Akaza leaped and flashed forward. Not long ago, he was still sighing and excited about Rengoku Kaijuro's miraculous survival. He couldn't wait to fight Rengoku Kaijuro again. But now his interest has been completely diverted, and he is no longer paying attention to Rengoku Kaijuro, because he discovered that there is an ultimate warrior in this battlefield. Those tiny fighting spirits may seem insignificant, but Akaza knows it. Once a restrained fighting spirit is fully released, it will be so earth-shattering. I can feel your fighting spirit. Have you really stepped into the supreme realm? Akaza looked at Bai Ye with a fiery gaze, full of fighting spirit. Since he became a demon, he has lost all his memories of the past. The only thing left in his heart was the obsession to become stronger, constantly fighting with the strong and becoming stronger in the battle. Akaza firmly believed that fighting with a strong man like Bai Ye would definitely allow him to touch the supreme realm he had always dreamed of. Destruction kill, final style, blue-silver, random light. No extra words, no extra temptations. Facing a supreme warrior like Bai Ye, Akaza started with the ultimate move. In just a short moment, Akaza launched dozens or hundreds of attacks. Fist wind and air bullets rushed towards Bai Ye like rain. Bai Ye did not dodge, but used fists to fight, breaking all methods with one force. The strong fist surrounded by golden light was thrown out, and the air was blown up. Even the void seemed to be punched into a vacuum channel. With just one punch, Akaza's strongest killer move was broken. Hissed the whole audience, sucked in cold air one after another, without stopping. Some people, at the same time, there's something fishy. Jeg's so awesome. Byakuya-sama is so awesome. The pig-headed boy Inosuke jumped up and down excitedly. Mr. Byakuya is so handsome. Kanroji Mitsuri's eyes sparkled and turned into the shape of a heart. You are worthy of being a god. Sisters Kocho Kane and Kocho Shinobu were both intoxicated. Is this the power of that man? So strong. Wind Pillar Fushigawara. Shimizu clenched the Nichiren sword in his hand and clenched his teeth. Earlier, you, me, and Rengoku combined our strength, but we were still repelled by Akaza. Now, that man defeated Akaza's unique skill with one punch each. Snake Pillar Iguro Abanai was also completely convinced. Ha ha ha, this is just the beginning. If you think that this is Mr. Bai Ye's full strength, you are totally wrong. Rengoku Kaijuro said cheerfully. Can it be stronger? Water Pillar Tomioka Ju and Mist Pillar Takedo, Muchiro whispered in shock. Destruction kill, annihilation style. After one move failed, upper rank 3 Akaza's fighting spirit did not decrease, but increased, and he attacked again. That was not your full strength just now, right? Come on, let me see the level of a warrior who has stepped into the highest realm. Akaza shouted excitedly, his body like lightning, and rushed straight towards Bai Ye. Since you said so, then it will be as you wish. Bai Ye said lightly. The moment the last word fell, the momentum around him suddenly changed. The fighting spirit of a warrior so strong that it is almost materialized expands. In his work in the assassin world, Bai Ye obtained all the power of the heroic spirit Li Shuwen. Now, show it here. Gong Quan, unrivaled. Bai Ye's fist was launched later, but arrived first, hitting Akaza's heart. The next second, under the shocked, horrified, unbelievable, and incredible gazes of all people and demons, the body of upper rank 3 Akaza solidified and stagnated. Gongquan unrivaled. As the name suggests, there is no need for a second strike. Compared to relying on the destructive power of the fist to destroy the enemy's internal organs, the real essence of this strike is to swallow the opponent with ki. The technique of ki swallowing is similar to the empty zhou in the Taoist practice of zhudiangxing. Zhou Tianxing is to let the ki circulate around the body and mind, thereby activating the whole body, generating resonance and amplification. First, fill the whole body with ki, then fill the surrounding space with one's own ki, forming a space filled with one's own ki, thus creating a field that belongs entirely to oneself. The ki of the opponent in this field will be swallowed up, and part of the light sense of the person swallowed by the ki will be dazzled and enter a state of tension. If a direct impact is given to the opponent's nerves in this state, the opponent's heart will stop beating due to the vagus nerve reflex. In other words, it is shock death. Ghost, although he has infinite regenerative power, he can survive even if his heart is blown up. But there are still nerves and the like in his body. The air swallowing technique is still effective. This punch certainly cannot kill the demon, but it can stop Akaza's movements. Just when everyone was stunned, Rengoku, you will make the final decision. Bai Ye spoke lightly, changed his fist into a palm, and hit Akaza towards the direction where Rengoku Kaijuro was. Yes, the blazing flames of fighting spirit ignited from Rengoku Kaijuro's Nichiren sword. The secret of the breath of fire, Rengoku Kaijuro mercilessly slashed his strongest blow at the neck of the motionless Akaza. Akaza, what are you doing? Musen's forehead was bulging with veins, and he shouted angrily. Musen-sama. Akaza wanted to respond, wanted to move, but his body was completely out of control and couldn't move. He could only watch the flaming Nichiren's sword cut into his neck, advancing inch by inch, and finally piercing through. Upper rank 3 Akaza. His head fell to the ground. Post views, 728 Fairy Tale. The Request of All Worlds. See you at the beginning, Chapter 061, Chapter 61. Sanxian is defeated in 1 minute. Musen is so scared that he runs away. Subscribe. Rolling the demon head fell to the ground. Upper rank 3 Akaza dead. This result shocked everyone and demons present. For the members of the Demon Slayer Corps, they were not surprised that Byakuya had the ability to kill Akaza. But they did not expect that the battle would end in such a short time. The two sides fought with only one move. Akaza's enlargement was broken by Byakuya. Then Byakuya threw a punch casually. Akaza was as if possessed by a demon and could not move. He was beheaded by Rengoku Kaijuro with the Sun Blade without any resistance. Even Rengoku Kaijuro, who made the finishing blow, felt incredible. The powerful enemy that he had tried his best but could not defeat was defeated so easily. On the other hand, for the evil ghosts, the impact of this battle made their brains tremble. After all, the one who was beheaded just now was not some street ghost, but the upper rank 3. Now, the third most powerful ghost among the ghosts. When they saw Bai Ye breaking Akaza's moves, they thought that the next battle would be a fierce battle. Even if Akaza could not beat the human on the opposite side, he would definitely injure him. Never thought that the final result would be like this. The other party killed one of their generals with almost no effort. What kind of monster human is this? Wow, I see. Evil spirits. This is the power of the White Knight God. Tremble before the power of God. The pig-headed boy Inosuk shouted excitedly. Akaza, you really disappoint me. Musen looked coldly at Akaza, who was gradually turning into ashes on the ground. Just then, Lord Musen, something unexpected happened. The headless body of Akaza, who was beheaded by the Nichiren sword and should have been dead, actually moved again. His body was no longer turned into ashes, and his cranial cavity was surging, showing signs of regeneration. What? Why? He was clearly beheaded by the Nichiren sword. Why can that guy still move? The Demon Slayer core pillars were all shocked. Very good. Akaza, I've known for a long time that you have the potential to break through the limit. Muzan smiled with satisfaction. However, his smile only lasted for a moment. The next moment, Akaza, who tried to break through the limit of the demon, was overwhelmed by the memory of the once-forgotten past. Recalling the past, he was no longer obsessed with the world and went to the underworld with his beloved, until they saw Akaza's body completely turn to ashes. The hearts of the Demon Slayer core finally let go. Boom! The dull sound of drums suddenly sounded. That was the 4-in-1 evil ghost, Sun Patian, making his move. Blood Demon Art, Wu Jin Yeshu. Sun Patian held the drumsticks in both hands and hit the drum behind him at the same time. Boom! The earth shook violently. Giant wooden dragons broke out of the ground and roared towards Bai Ye. Bai Ye looked normal, not dodging, with the 5 fingers of his right hand spread wide. Swoosh! Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. 5 black and white lights shot out from his fingertips. This was a normal attack magic inherited from Fulilian. Its powerful penetrating power easily smashed the wooden dragons that were dancing wildly. Then Bai Ye drew a circle in the air with his left hand and pointed at Mitsuri Kanroji. Love you! Kanroji Mitsuri reacted quickly and immediately responded with a heart. Bai Ye, Mitsuri, there seems to be something in the bushes over there. Kanekuku was the first to notice it. It's okay, Mitsuri. Just cut in the direction of that circle. Bai Ye deemed it. As soon as the words fell, the circle that Bai Ye had drawn before turned into a black hole, releasing a terrifying suction force, making the small things hiding in the bushes nowhere to hide. There's actually an evil ghost hiding in the bushes, and it's so small. Kanekuku was shocked. The bushes were only a few steps away from them, but they didn't notice it at all. I know, this little ghost is the real body of upper rank 4. Kanekuku had just finished speaking. The golden light flashed and disappeared. Mitsuri Kanroji swung the divine axe Rita and easily beheaded Hantenga's body. As the body was beheaded and destroyed, the apotheosis split from the body also gradually turned into ashes. Just as the Demon Slayer core was still immersed in the joy of the elimination of another upper rank, Bai Ye walked and took action again. Asshole, is the next target me? Don't think I'm as easy to deal with as them. Upper rank 5 Yuhu's body suddenly shrank into the pod, and when he rushed out again, his body had undergone a huge change. Faced with the unfathomable strength of Bai Ye, Yuhu shed his skin without hesitation and entered the final combat form. He was half fishman, and his whole body was covered with diamond-hard fish scales. And he could use the fish scales covering the entire province to move at high speed. In addition, his god's hand can turn all objects it touches into fish. Once I defeat you, I will be upper rank 3. Thinking of this, upper rank 5 Yuhu became more and more excited. He was confident that with the god's hand's first sight kill, even if he couldn't kill Bai Ye, he could still make him suffer a heavy loss. However, the so-called first sight kill can only be established under the condition of unknown enemy intelligence. For as a time traveler, Bai Ye knew all the weaknesses and moves of the upper evil spirits. Knowing the strange abilities of Yuhu's hands, how could Bai Ye give him a chance to get close to him? Bai Ye has his own way to deal with fishmen. Just use left 0 and right fire, and Thunder God will help me. Crack. Boom. 5 Thunder's righteousness. Boom, 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 boom. Even if Yuhu is faster, he can't be faster than thunder and lightning. 5 Thunders fell, and his body was instantly charred. The proud diamond fish scale defense was also carbonized and fell off. Bai Ye raised his foot and kicked Yuhu, who was half dead and doubting his life, towards the Butterfly Sisters. The 2 sisters were called instantly, swung the sun wheel sword mercilessly, and cut off Yuhu's head. Thus, 3 powerful upper-rank evil spirits were eliminated. It has only been less than a minute since the battle began. Although Bai Ye was not the last one to finish off the enemy, no one would deny that the 3 upper-rank evil spirits were killed by Bai Ye. In 1 minute, he killed 3 upper-rank evil spirits in a row. What kind of power is this? Even Fuzugawa Shia and Iguro Abanai, who had a deep opinion of Bai Ye, were completely convinced at this moment. Monster! Monster! Brother, save me! After noticing Bai Ye's gaze, the upper-rank pendant Daki cried on the spot and quickly turned into a ribbon and hid in her brother's arms. Little did she know that at this moment, Gifu Taro himself was also panicking. 3, 4, and 5 have all gone to hell. If nothing unexpected happens, the next one will be him, the 6th. How long can he hold out against that terrifying monster human? 1 second or 3 seconds. Just when Gifu Taro was sweating profusely. Pa pa pa. Ha! Muzan suddenly laughed, clapping and laughing. I didn't expect it. Ubuyashiki, where on earth did you find such a monster? Ahem, Muzan, you just said that you killed hundreds and thousands of people, but the punishment from heaven never came. So you don't believe in the existence of gods and Buddhas, but now I want to say that it's not that the time has not come yet. Your actions will eventually lead to punishment from heaven. Ubuyashiki Kaoya said, You mean, this man is my punishment from heaven? Don't be too proud. Even if he really has power above the upper strings, he can never kill me. I am eternal and immortal. The voice fell. The void opened one door after another. One after another, hideous demons filed out of the door. These were all the demons that Muzan had hidden in the Infinite Castle, and now they were all released. The entire Ubuyashiki mansion instantly turned into a scene of 100 Demons' Night Parade. For this, the Demon Slayer Corps also had a plan in advance. A cloud-piercing arrow. Thousands of troops came to meet. Zenitsu Agatsuma, Kaneo Kocho, Jinya Fushigawa, Murata, etc. wait for the passers-by members of the Demon Slayer Corps who were ambushed outside the mansion to join the battlefield. In an instant, the Ubuyashiki mansion became a bloody meat grinder. The tragic and chaotic battle of slaughter began. Taking advantage of the chaos of the war, the demon King Muzan, who had previously made a harsh remark, quietly took a step back, protected the demons in front of him, and then fled into the Infinite Castle. Minago, Muzan urged anxiously. Don't run away. Muzan. Tanjiro, who had been watching Muzan's every move, was very anxious when he saw this and shouted at the top of his lungs. By ye great God, Muzan really ran away because of you. The pig-headed boy Inosuke was also anxious. Leave this to us, Mr. Bai Ye. Just go and chase. Rengoku Kaijiro and other pillars were also anxious. If Muzan escapes successfully tonight, no matter how many upper strings they kill, as long as the Demon King Muzan is still alive, everything will be in vain. For Muzan, the upper strings are just consumables. He used Akaza, Hantengu, and Gyokutsu, the 3 upper strings, to test Bai Ye's terrifying strength and get the answer to escape far away. The siblings Kokushibo and Jitoru are the chess pieces for his escape. As long as Muzan is still alive, he can continue to create upper strings in the future. On the other hand, if the Demon Slayer Corps misses tonight, I am afraid there will be no chance again. This is also the same for Bai Ye. Bai Ye, you go, we are fine here. Mirajane said. Don't worry, I said, if he dares to show up, he will definitely not be able to escape. Bai Ye said confidently. Swish. His right hand passed through the void. The unique space skill shadow attack of the mythical Pokemon Giratina is activated. At this moment, Space Infinite City. Ha ha ha! The proud laughter of the Ghost King Muzan echoed in the empty city for a long time. However, the next second, there was only a loud bang. A meteor-like figure fell from the sky. The terrifying impact caused the buildings in the city to collapse in pieces. 0 Post Views, 715 Fairy Tale. The Request of All Worlds. See you at the beginning, Chapter 062, Chapter 62. Pure Sun Flame burns Muzan. Arrogant Sun. Subscribe another dimension, Infinite City. Ha ha ha! In the empty city, the crazy laughter of the scumbag boss Muzan echoed. Sure enough, there are no gods or Buddhas in this world. No one can give me heavenly punishment. The swordsman 400 years ago can't, and this man this time can't either. I must admit that the man named Bai Ye is very scary. His strength is even higher than that of Tsujikoku Yorichi 400 years ago. But what's the use of this? Muzan's laughter became more and more wanton and ostentatious. It's all thanks to the wise decision of Lord Muzin, the only remaining evil spirit in Infinite City. Upper string 2 Mingnu plucked the strings of the pipa, urging Infinite City to quickly travel and move away in the other dimension. Not long ago, when they decided to launch a general attack on the Ubuyashiki residence, Mingnu had proposed whether to send all the members of the Demon Slayer Corps to the Infinite City, their home ground. After careful consideration, Muzin rejected this proposal. It is true that fighting at home can achieve greater results, but it will also bring many variables. This is exactly the case. If they had dragged everyone into the Infinite City without any consideration in advance, then now, it would be difficult for him to escape from the terrifying man Bai Ye. Wait, Ubuyashiki, this is definitely not the end. The struggle between you and me will continue for a long time. 460 Demon King Muzin said harshly. Just then, boom, a violent roar exploded in his ears. What's going on? Muzin's face changed, and he even looked at Mingnu. Intruder. There is an intruder. Mina's pupils shrank suddenly, and her face was full of shock and disbelief. This is the Infinite City in the other dimension, her blood demon art domain. Without her permission, how could anyone break through the other dimension and arrive here? Damn it, intruder? Who is it? Muzin's face was ugly, no longer as wanton and ostentatious as before. The alarm bells in his heart rang, and an ominous premonition exploded. The moment he said this, he had already guessed the answer in his heart. In the Demon Slayer Corps, except for that mysterious man, other mortals could not do it at all. Yulu, in the flying smoke and dust, Bai Ye walked leisurely. Muzin, I've been holding back in order not to scare you, but I didn't expect that I would scare you away. I really overestimated your courage. Bai Ye shook his head helplessly. In the previous battle with the upper rank, Bai Ye seemed to be the god of war in the eyes of the spectators. Little did they know that Bai Ye still restrained himself and did not take it seriously. He even gave the task of finishing off the enemy to Mitsuri Kanroji and others. The purpose was to paralyze Muzin and give him the illusion that he could win if he tried harder. Otherwise, if Bai Ye directly uses the pure yang yin of the demon-killing divine fire, how will the ghosts respond? No matter how many evil ghosts come, they will be turned into ashes in a minute in front of the pure yang yin of the demon-killing divine fire. But Bai Ye did not expect that Muzin's courage was even smaller than he imagined. He just made a slight move, and Muzin could not bear it and ran away. So he had to bother to use tracking magic and shadow sneak attacks to chase into the different space. You are chasing alone, let alone whether you can promise me. Are you really not afraid of the Ubuyashiki mansion? Although you killed 3 of them, my strongest subordinate Kokushibo is there. As long as he is there, no one in the Demon Slayer Corps can survive. The Ghost King Muzin threatened in a deep voice. What you said, of course I can think of it. This 1,000-year struggle will come to an end. In the end, they will have to participate. Besides, as long as I solve you, the problem over there will be solved. Bai Ye spoke lightly and walked towards Muzin step by step. Click! Without any warning. In front of Bai Ye, a door appeared in the empty place. The door opened, and there was no Muzin on the other side. Bai Ye suddenly looked up, his eyes locked on Mingnu through the heavy buildings. I almost forgot about you, Bai Ye pointed out, and the ordinary attack magic penetrated the Infinite City, accurately blasting Mingnu's head. Although this attack was not enough to kill Mingnu, it interrupted her action of opening a back door for Muzin. Swoosh! Boom! Bai Ye leaped up and transformed into a human-shaped dragon, crashing through the buildings blocking the road and ascending to the sky above the city again. Burning, demon-killing divine fire, pure yang yin now. A cluster of flames fell on Mingnu, who was regenerating her head. The originally tiny flames swelled up in the wind the moment they touched the evil monster. In an instant, Mingnu's whole body was covered. Accompanied by a shrill scream, Mingnu turned into ashes. Asshole, what kind of flame is this? Wuzan shouted. This is not the first time he has seen such a terrifying flame. I saw it in Doma's vision back then. But actually, seeing it is completely different from seeing it through others. Intuition tells him that the power of this flame is the same as the sun, which can effectively kill him. Having broken through his limits, he is no longer afraid of being beheaded by the sunblade. His only weakness is the sun. However, now his weakness seems to have been added with a kind of fire. Boom! With the death of Mingnu, the infinite city in the other dimension collapsed. Amid the roar of the sky and the earth, Bai Ye and Muzan fell into the woods on the wreckage of the city. The flames on Bai Ye's fingertips swayed, and with a flick of his hand, a huge fire with a radius of hundreds of meters was formed. Flame ring. If I let you run away today, I will have a headache. Bai Ye smiled. Damn it, who are you? What did Ubuyashiki promise you that made you go against me at all costs? Muzan's face was extremely ugly, and the throbbing in his heart also reached its peak. The pressure Bai Ye gave him this time was even greater than the encounter with Tsujikoku, Yorichi, 400 years ago. Who am I? Didn't Ubuyashiki tell you that I am your punishment from heaven? Bai Ye spoke indifferently. No one is qualified to judge me, not even God. Knowing that there was no hope of escape, the Ghost King Muzan finally prepared to fight to the death. His back was arched, and blood vessels like things bulged on his skin all over his body. Swish, swish. Swish, the suit on Muzan's body was completely torn. His arms rushed out with thorn-like whips. 9 needle-like thin whips rushed out from his back, carrying Muzan's poisonous blood. In addition, his feet also had 8 tentacles about 7 meters long dancing. This is Muzan's ghost form. It looks like a wireworm turned into a spirit. Dozens of long whipped tentacles danced like a group of demons. While dancing, the atmosphere was sucked out and a sharp explosion sounded. After all, he is the final boss of a world, so I should be a little more serious. Bai Ye stretched his limbs and awakened every cell in his body. The brilliant golden light shone, and the golden light spell wrapped Bai Ye's whole body under the blessing of the golden light spell. Bai Ye unscrupulously fought against Wuzan's thorn whip and tentacles with his bare hands. No matter how Wuzan tried, he could not break through the layer of golden light protection. Instead, his tentacles were constantly torn and broken by Bai Ye. This is just the beginning. Bai Ye put his fingers together as a sword and rode in the air. In an instant, dozens of captives were formed. Some triggered the thunder of the sky, some triggered the fire of the earth, and some merged into the void, sealing the 4 directions. The mountain-forest battlefield with a radius of hundreds of meters was filled with the most strong and yang thunder and fire. Even if Wuzan could regenerate infinitely at super speed, it would definitely not be pleasant to be hit by thunder and fire. Not to mention, among the ordinary thunder and fire, there is also an extraordinary demon-killing divine fire. Whenever it touches a point, Muzan will cut off the body of the touched part without hesitation, not giving it a chance to spread. In just a few minutes, the flesh and blood that Muzan cut off from himself is equivalent to the portion of 10 ordinary people. No, this will never work. We must find a chance to escape from the battle. The more he fought, the deeper the fear in Muzan's heart became. He knew that the man in front of him really had the ability to kill him. Then let's use that trick. Muzan made the decision and decided to repeat the old trick. 400 years ago, he escaped from Huiyuan by splitting himself into 1,800 pieces. 400 years later, he can now split into more than 2,000 pieces. It works. Just as Muzan was thinking this, Bai Ye laughed. I've been waiting for you to do this. Bai Ye waved his hand. The talisman that merged into the void appeared, forming a barrier to block all of Muzan's flesh and blood fragments. Then, Bai Ye drew a circle in the void. Black hole gravity magic activated. A large black hole was formed out of thin air, released an extremely terrifying tearing force. Attract and gather all the pieces of Muzan's flesh that have no power to resist. Garbage should be gathered together and burned. Burning the pure yang of the demon-killing divine fire fell like rain, accurately hitting one piece of flesh after another. But aren't there a few people who die in natural disasters every year? Can't you just treat it as if your family members have suffered natural disasters? Why do you keep targeting me? I am the chosen one. I am only one step away from eternity. Damn it, Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for completing the C++ level commission, clearing the demon world, and obtaining the World Origin Mark X1. Reward for this C++ commission. The grace of the sun, arrogant sun. Listening to the rewards announced by the system, Bai Ye's eyes lit up. However, without waiting for him to check carefully and confirm. Boom! A violent roar came from the mountains in the distance. Bai Ye suddenly turned his head and looked in the direction of the Ubuyashiki residence. Now that the Demon King Muzan has died, all the evil demons should also dissipate. However, the battle is still going on. The bloody red color covered the sky. This is not good. Bai Ye's expression was solemn. Post views, 746 Fairy Tale, The Request of All Worlds. See you at the beginning, Chapter 063, Chapter 63. Nezuko's Fall from Grace. Demon Mirajane awakens. Subscribe. Time goes back a few minutes. Just as Byakuya set out to pursue the Demon King Muzan. In the Ubuyashiki mansion, the all-out decisive battle between the demons and the demon hunters began. Both sides fought bloody battles and fought to the death. The entire mansion turned into a bloody hell in a short while. Although there are many demons on the demon side, most of them are small fry and high in combat power is scarce. 3 of the powerful upper rank were killed by Byakuya, leaving only 2.5. On the other hand, the Demon Slayer Corps has all the pillar-level strongmen. Ordinary small demons can be killed by the pillars with 1 sword, and the situation is very good. At the critical moment, the first upper rank, Kokushibo, took action. As the leader of the upper rank, Kokushibo's strength is second only to the Demon King Muzan. And like Muzan, he broke through his limit and would not die even if beheaded by the Nichiren sword. Now that the pillars have not awakened the 3-piece set, Kokushibo almost changed the situation by himself. The strongest rock pillars of the Demon Slayer Corps, Gyumi, Wind Pillar, Fushigi Senia, and Mist Pillar, Takedo Machiro, joined forces to fight. But one of them was severely injured by Kokushibo in a short period of time, and Mist Pillar Takedo Machiro was almost cut in half on the spot. Water Pillar, Tomioka, Snake Pillar, Iguro Abanai, and Flame Pillar, Rengoku Kaijuro, came to reinforce. This was barely equal. Of course, it was only equal to the first stage of Kokushibo. When Kokushibo opened the second stage form, even if Kanroji Mitsuri, Kocho Kane, and Yuzui Tenjin joined, it was useless. Add to that Upper Moon Lu, the siblings of Jifutaro and Daki, and other small demons. The situation is extremely unfavorable for the Demon Slayer Corps, and it can even be said that the Demon Slayer Corps has reached a critical juncture of life and death. People fall down every minute and every second, and the entire mansion is already a river of blood. We can do it. We can kill them all, brother. Luji Pendant Daki's eyes flashed with bloodthirsty light. Except for the monster called Bai Ye, the other people in the Demon Slayer Corps are not to be feared at all. The biggest mistake that man made was to leave me and brother Kokushibo alone. Jifutaro raised a cruel smile at the corner of his mouth, and his confidence was overflowing. He and Kokushibo worked together to wipe out the Demon Slayer Corps, and it was exciting to think about it. I wonder what his expression will be when that man comes back and finds that you are all dead. In the second stage, Kokushibo sneered and strolled leisurely, ready to finish off the seriously injured 9 pillars. It's all because of my miscalculation. Everyone is tired of me. Ubuyashiki Yoya sighed. Please don't say that. This is not the Lord's fault. We can only blame ourselves for being too weak. If we could have 1% of the strength of the god, all the pillars were unwilling and forced to stand up. Nezuko Tanjiro, who was also seriously injured, struggled to get up. Mirajane, please take Nezuko away. Even if it's just you two, how could it be it's all my fault? If I could use magic, if it was Erza instead of me. Mirajane's face was pale. She wanted to transform into a demon desperately, but she was powerless. Since the incident that day, she not only lost her sister, but also lost her magic to fight. Brother, just then, Nezuko suddenly broke free from Mirajane's arms. Nezuko-chan. Mirajane wanted to stop her, but it was too late. She could only watch Nezuko run towards Kokushibo. "You are the demon who overcomes the sun," that Master Musen said. "Very good." Kokushibo stretched out his big hand and grabbed Nezuko. "Nezuko! Nezuko-chan!" Tanjiro, Mitsuri Kanroji, Kane Kocho, and others all shouted anxiously. Just when people were in despair, the next second, something unexpected happened. "This time it's my turn to protect everyone." Nezuko leaped up and ascended to the sky. Boom! The queen's pressure that dominated the world reappeared. Nezuko waved her delicate fist and blew up the head of Kokushibo, who had not been cut down by the 9 pillars. This shocking scene stunned all the people and ghosts present. However, this was just the beginning. Facing Kokushibo, who had opened the final form of the 3rd stage, Nezuko still fought with only her own fists. The white fist broke through the moon, slashes in the sky. Finally, it tore Kokushibo's body apart. Burning the blazing flames rose from Nezuko's body, burning the upper rank 1 Kokushibo to ashes. Then, Nezuko shifted her target to the siblings of Gyutara and Daki. In less than 10 seconds, the upper rank 6 siblings also turned to ashes in the flames. The reversal and despair made all the members of the Demon Slayer Corps excited and shouted, "Amazing! Really amazing! Nezuko is really amazing!" The pig-headed boy Inosuke was so excited that he burst into tears. That day, Mr. Byakuya's ritual did not restore Nezuko to human form, but further evolved her. Rengoku Kaijuro sighed. Sure enough, the terrifying pressure that day was not an illusion. Wind Pillar Fushigi Miya looked serious. "Nezuko-chan, you are really amazing." Kanroji Mitsuri staggered forward. "Wait, Mitsuri, Nezuko's condition seems to be wrong." Kane Kocho was keenly aware of it. "Nezuko, it's all right now." Tanjiro dragged his injured body forward. Swish! Nezuko suddenly turned her head, her eyes flashing with bloodthirsty light. She waved her hand lightly, and Tanjiro was knocked dozens of meters away. Blood! Nezuko's figure slowly floated into the air, and her bloody eyes ruthlessly overlooked the battlefield. She looked at everyone as if she was looking at blood food. This is exactly the sequelae of fusing the blood of the Red Moon that Bai Ye has been worried about. Nezuko, who was baptized by the blood of the Red Moon, evolved into a high-level vampire progenitor as expected. Under normal conditions, 80% of Nezuko's power is used to suppress her blood-sucking instinct. As long as she doesn't use her power to fight, she can live like a normal girl. But the situation tonight is special. The whole mansion is a river of blood. In addition, the Demon Slayer Corps is on the verge of collapse. Nezuko, who wants to protect everyone, has released her own power. While killing Kokushibo and the evil spirits, her blood-sucking instinct can no longer be suppressed. Once the blood-sucking mode is turned on, Nezuko will completely fall into evil and become a fallen true ancestor. "Nezuko, it's okay, you don't have to work hard anymore, come back." Tanjiro covered his chest and struggled to get up. "Nezuko-chan, don't scare me. Let the well-behaved and cute Nezuko-chan come back." Zenitsu Agatsuma was already crying in fear. There's no way. Nezuko has completely gone berserk. Shinobu Kocho smiled bitterly. She had just survived one dead end, and now she was facing another one. God really played a joke on them. In this situation, only God can help, please. Lord Byakuya, Kane Kocho prayed silently, just when the demon slayers were in despair. "Nezuko, please stop." Mirajane stood up, opened her arms, and blocked everyone. "Nezuko, everyone here is your partner, your family. If you hurt them, you will regret it for the rest of your life." Nezuko's pretty face showed a struggle, but it was replaced by bloodlust in just a moment. "Miss Mira, it's dangerous. That's enough, go away. If anything happens to you, we won't be able to explain to Mr. Bai Ye." Rengoku Kaijuro and others spoke one after another. However, Mirajane remained unmoved, because she had experienced what was happening in front of her. Because of her carelessness, her brother absorbed the Beast King that was beyond his ability. Eventually, It led to the death of her sister Lisana. She would never let the same thing happen again. At this moment, under that strong desire, something seemed to break inside Mira. A familiar feeling surged into her heart, and a powerful force filled her whole body. Wow! Controlled by her blood-sucking instinct, Nezuko shot a blood-red ray at Mirajane. Receiving the whole body, Satan's soul. A terrifying magic storm was surging, and the former S-class wizard of fairy tale, Demon Mirajane, returned. Soul Exterminator. Demon form Mirajane raised her hand and shot a magic ball, which collided with Nezuko's blood-red ray and annihilated both. My percent. Miss Mirajane has also transformed. Inosuke was so shocked that he couldn't even speak properly. Wow, so amazing. Miss Mira is so amazing. Kanroji Mitsuri was amazed again and again. As expected, those who can travel with the Lord God cannot be ordinary people. Hope flashed in Shinobu Kocho's beautiful eyes again. In order to protect us, did Miss Mira make a deal with the devil? Kane Kocho whispered. Crack! Boom! Blood-colored clouds covered the sky. The battle between the true ancestor Nezuko and the demon Mirajane was in full swing. Because of the fear of hurting Nezuko, Mirajane was restrained and could not go all out. This also led to her being at a disadvantage in this battle. After another great energy collision, Mirajane, who had just recovered her magic power, was unable to cope with it and exited the demon form. Just as she was about to fall to the ground at the critical moment, a warm and powerful big hand passed through Myra's slender waist and hugged her into his arms. Bai Ye. Myra's eyes suddenly lit up. Well done, Mira. The precious tens of seconds you delayed brought hope to everyone. As Bai Ye spoke, he pointed his finger at Nezuko's forehead without turning his head. The magic circle buried in Nezuko's body was activated, and in an instant, Nezuko crashed and fell into a coma. Post-views, 775 Fairy Tale, The Request of All Worlds. See you at the beginning, chapter 064, chapter 64. Eating the Butterfly Sisters. Fairy Tale S-Rank Assessment. Subscribe, it's over. It's all over. The 1,000-year struggle between the man-eating demons and the Demon Slayer Corps. The 1,000-year feud between Muzan Kibutsuji and Ubuyashiki. Everything came to a perfect end today. The ruins of the mansion. Bai Ye, holding Mirajane and Nezuko in each hand, slowly landed on the ground. Mr. Bai Ye, Mitsuri Kanroji, and Kane Kocho immediately dragged their injured bodies forward. I'm sorry. Muzan is more tenacious than I thought. If he could come back earlier, Bai Ye said apologetically. Please don't say that, Mr. Byakuya. We were able to achieve such a result tonight and kill Muzan all thanks to your help. I would like to thank you on behalf of the entire Demon Slayer Corps. Ubuyashiki trembled and stood up from the wheelchair and knelt down to Byakuya with his wife Ubuyashiki Amain. Then came Rock Pillar Gimei Hai, Flame Pillar Rengoku Kaijuro, Water Pillar Tomioka-ju, Sound Pillar Yuzui Tenjin, Wind Pillar Fushigawa Minoru, Snake Pillar Iguro Abanai. All the members of the Demon Slayer Corps who could still move in the field knelt down and thanked Byakuya together with their lord Ubuyashiki. They did suffer heavy losses tonight, but compared to completely destroying the Demon King Muzan, all the sacrifices were worth it.
No more novels? Take part in the voting. The most requested novels and those with the most likes will be chosen for publication on euroaudiobooks.com. There, I can upload as much as I want without the risk of receiving a strike. Our 18 novels and other content that exceed what is morally acceptable are only published on Patreon or the free novels page. Remember, the site is funded by donations on Ko-fi and Patreon memberships.